Round 2 of NECC playoffs are upon us. April 1st, and no fools about this one. We've got a banger on our hands. Shenandoah University gearing up to take on the University of William and Mary in their second round of this bracket. Lot at stake here tonight. Both of these teams looking to punch their ticket into grand finals against the winner of Winthrop and Lebanon Valley, which we have to assume is probably a ticket to Winthrop. Ooh, a lot going on here tonight, but a lot to look forward to. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Clayton. This is my lovely brother, Kevin Clayton, and we get to cover some exciting gameplay here tonight. I know I've said that a lot over the last couple weeks, over the last semester, really, because it feels like we have banger after banger after banger, but this one just feels a little bit different.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line this time around, Chris. I do believe Shenandoah really wants a chance up against potentially Winthrop, like to really bring home that sort of championship spot and really make themselves known. But that is a tall ask. You're talking the big dogs in this division, and so to get there, you got one match in the way. Shenandoah wants it. You can see the players all getting warmed up, ready to rock and roll, but you can't say that the horizon isn't where they're looking. Like, they are very focused, not just on this match, but going forward.
Absolutely. Reigning national champions, Winthrop, and unfortunately, unfortunately, Shenandoah matching up seeding to play Winthrop in both of their leagues. Tough break, but we'll get there when we get there. But we can take a look at the schedule for the week, because we've got a game here tonight against William and Mary, but there's plenty of other action throughout the week. Academy Street Fighter. Yeah, Kevin here next to me, competing last night in CFGC. Unfortunately, 2 heartbreakers. It looks
Chris.
like very close. I know how those went.
Yeah, both of them 2 threes. I'm cursed, Chris. I'm shackled down to 2 threes. It's crazy.
Yeah, 2 tough losses for you, but that brings us to today. We've got Smash Bros. Taking on William and Mary in NECC playoffs. That will be here on stream. And then we've also got our reschedule from the Overwatch team down there taking on Concordia St. Paul. They will be on stage behind us in their NECC playoffs as well. That's their round 1 matchup, I believe. And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Tiny Shiny might be streaming that. If not, either way, we'll get you updates as we can if that's what you're here for, but we will be covering Smash Bros. On stream. That brings us to tomorrow. We'll have Mossman taking on his next batch of CFGC opponents, and then Thursday, we're back to regularly scheduled programming. Rocket League taking on Emory Riddle in NECC, and Smash Bros. With their second match of the week against Cleveland State in NACE. So, plenty to look forward to. Been a lot of fun so far. Last week starting playoffs off, but we keep the ball rolling here this week.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that Cleveland State match for the Smash Bros. Team. A little selfishly, some of those players I've gotten the chance to play against at big tournaments back in Ohio, Cost namely, and I gotta say, they're pretty good players, Chris. The kind of players that you really do need to respect. I've gotten waxed by both of them when I played, and hey, this time around, hopefully Shenandoah's players can avenge me from my fallen state.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And I know a player over there on their lacrosse team. That's a great school over at Cleveland State. They've got a lot of great things going for them. If you send your kid to Cleveland State, they will walk out with a great education. But that's not who we're playing here tonight. We've got William and Mary on our hands. Regional opponent, familiar opponent for these guys behind us. And we've got one of the guys ready to tell us about how they feel about William and Mary. We've got Igloo standing by with Ben. He's going to ask how we're feeling about tonight. Ben, take it away.
Thank you, Chris and Kevin. I am joined by Igloo, like you said, our captain here for our SU Smash Bros. Varsity team. First things first, Avery, how are you feeling here tonight?
Oh, we're feeling really excited, Ben. We got a really good win last week versus Concord University, and we were able to have a bit of a rest for the first time in a while. It feels like we've been playing Smash Bros. Like the whole last week, but we've actually been able to take this weekend to recenter and really prepare for a match for the first time in a while.
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to be a pretty good match as well, right? This is a rematch from last semester. This is William and Mary. We went down, I believe it was a 2-1 loss to William and Mary last semester. A bit of a redemption arc possibly coming up here tonight. What do you feel about the matchup? What have you learned from last semester, and what are you looking to do here tonight?
Yeah, we're definitely hoping for some redemption here, Ben. This is one of the 2 teams that was able to take us down last year, but, at the end of the day, we were able to win the conference last time, and we're looking to, try to do that a second time here, going up against William & Mary, trying to switch a few things around. They do have some tricky characters for us, so trying to match the right people in the right spots, and, this time we do have David Farrambis on the Jigglypuff. That's something that we didn't have access to last time that we played William & Mary, so maybe that's enough to shake things up. We just got to play our cards right and try to get the W.
Yeah, for sure. Now, speaking of tricky characters, right, one thing that I remember from casting that series, right, is the Wii Fit that is on William & Mary. What is it like going up against that character that is very strong on Wi-Fi, and how you match into that kind of play style?
Yeah, he's a very strong player, Ben. I've played him offline as well, and he is really good at establishing the mid-range game with the soccer ball, with the sun salutation, and if you let him play his game, he gets that healing % off the sun salutation, off the deep breathing, and if you scrap with him while he has deep breathing, well, you're just in for a world of hurt. You get hit by a wrong up smash, and you might just explode at 50. So it's a really tricky game of trying to not let him establish his mid-range game, but also not approaching him at the wrong times, because you will pay for it.
No, yeah, for sure. And in the grand scheme of things, right, this group is also very, very tough. This entire playoff bracket that you guys find yourselves in. What are you hoping as a result? We know Winthrop is in this group. What is the mindset going in if you win here tonight, a potential meetup with that Winthrop squad?
We're looking forward to that a lot, Ben. I mean, that would be the first time we've gone up against that squad, and obviously they're fielding the best team in collegiate right now, in my opinion. So just to be able to give the team the opportunity to play guys of that caliber, I would say none of our players have probably played. Many of the players of that caliber, even in-person events, we got Willie who travels a lot, but to play, a top 20 player in the world, top 60 player in the world, that's a very unique opportunity that we're really hoping this team gets a chance at.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, good luck here tonight against William & Mary. Hopefully it comes up heads with an SU win. Guys, back to you.
Captain Igloo reporting for duty. No, that's so exciting to hear that. Confidence from him. I mean, anytime you hear him talk, he just exudes confidence, and especially when it comes to Smash Bros, that guy knows what he's talking about. But certainly a lot to look forward here tonight, especially when the team's talking like that.
Yeah, and we're talking top 60, top 20, I believe, players were mentioned, which is insanity, considering the fact that Shenandoah ran an event, got to watch a top 80 player. If there is that much of a difference in 20 seats, the 20 people, that is insanity. Y'all gotta stick around. I'm hoping Shenandoah walks away with a win on this one, because I want to watch that.
Yeah, as much as we talk about it, again, there is an opponent in front of us that we still need to get through, and Winthrop has an opponent to get through as well. We can take a look at the bracket that we're playing in here tonight. NECC's Eastern Playoffs. We are in round 2. The semifinals are upon us. Winthrop advancing easily past Seton Hill Gold to take on Lebanon Valley in their second round matchup, and that should be happening like right now, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. I mean, you have to expect that the reigning national champs, like Igloo said, arguably best team in Collegiate Smash, would advance from that one, but we've also got the match here on stream tonight. SU cruising past Concord in their round 1, and I want to take a moment to highlight there, down in the bottom left, William & Mary did drop a game, a set against UNC Wilmington, still coming out on top in the end, but maybe a little rattled, a little shaken up here coming into tonight.
And that should be something to look out for going forward, not only for William & Mary, but I also feel like Lebanon Valley has the chance to really shake up Winthrop's potential lineup. Yes, I understand you're talking about really high-level players, but Lebanon Valley, we've seen on this broadcast before, they can really just throw a wrench into whatever crew battle game plan you have going in, which brings us to our roster, right? We're talking about our players and their core identity, starting off usually with Kip and moving our way down the line with Willie at the end. Igloo and Farrambis really doing a good job of keeping that momentum going, securing the 3 and keeping the crew battle in our favor. But when you have a good selection of characters to really just throw a wrench in that, it can wholeheartedly just screw everything up.
Yeah, new hairstyle in the building for Willie here, as shout out Rain Dreamer on the Overwatch team, cooked up a little bit before we went live. Look good, feel good, play good, pay good is Willie's mentality coming in here tonight, and we'll see if it pays off. But team certainly looking fresh, looking warmed up as they settle in here. And some fans in attendance. Former player Nibstafa has made an appearance, as well as we have Chase Newcomb, one of our professors, here to root on the team. So, exciting stuff here. I mean, the atmosphere in here is very exciting, very just ready. I mean, you can tell that everybody here has their sights on a title. That would be the dream, but certainly got to get there first.
Yeah, which brings us to the opponents that we should see here tonight. That Wii Fit trainer was talked about a lot during the interview, and understandably so. That is a character that people don't have a lot of experience with just by nature of the character, the interest, the play rate, etc. But when you are up against them, a couple things to keep in mind. You got that deep breathing mechanic. That is wholeheartedly the big thing in my mind that you need to be looking out for.
Bread and butter.
You can get around the volleyball stuff. Sometimes you might eat an extra volleyball to the face or a soccer ball or whatever it is, but even so, you can usually find your way around it. It's just a little scary. That deep breathing, though, kind of decides the whole pace of the game, and we talk about pace a lot on this desk.
Absolutely. And while we have talked a lot about this Wii Fit trainer, there's also a Falco player that really gave SU fits the last time these two teams competed online. It's worth mentioning, I believe the last time these two teams actually met was at Game Mason last year, and SU came out soundly on top in that matchup, but worth mentioning that William & Mary did not have this Falco player that I'm talking about. So, big difference maker when William & Mary has the Falco and when they don't. I believe we're expecting the Falco here tonight. We don't have any reason to believe otherwise, but Falco can really cause problems for people on our roster, specifically Pac-Man with that reflector. I don't know, could cause a lot of issues, and I'm sure that's a matchup that SU is looking to avoid.
Yeah, I do think that SU has taken that into account. I don't think they want to necessarily start Kip into a matchup that could just end up causing problems. Kip has taken so many stocks on average to the point that it's usually like 1 to 3. Like in the last week or two, it's been a 1 to 3 ratio. And that's absurd. That's a lot of value.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I shouldn't be trying to save that? No, I'm going to try to save this powerful resource that we've got in our back pocket and try to utilize it later on once this Falco is out of the way.
Yeah, so I believe you're right. We are seeing the players in a button check, and I believe that the Shenandoah strategy is starting off with a pretty big call-out here, a big change of plans, and I think it does boil down to not putting Pac-Man into this Falco. They really don't like it, and it looks like we have Igloo in the hot seat here behind me, and will be starting on the Yoshi, which he, according to him, has a lot of experience into both the Falco and the Wii Fit matchup. So we'll see if it's enough to get it done here tonight. But as we prepare to get it into game here, I do want to go back real quick. We mentioned that we have Academy Overwatch competing as well tonight, and I want to make a correction. I said that Tiny Shiny would be live. I misspoke. It looks like Clabiella is live on Twitch. So if you're here to watch Overwatch, be sure to go tune in to her Twitch stream. But we're going to be covering Smash here. So like we said, we just saw the players get into a button check, and it looks like it will be Igloo's Yoshi taking on North, the Wii Fit train.
Scary matchup. Someone has to walk away with the win, though. And if Igloo is confident that he has that matchup knowledge going into this given matchup, then this could be exactly what they were hoping for, is a good call-out to start things out. This Wii Fit trainer, I would expect to be the anchor. Like, with how much we hear about them, it's super interesting to see the intricacies of that, like, playstyle and how people need to adapt. It's like Kip on the Pac-Man. But this time around, we're seeing that character start, which is very, very, like, hard call-out. Try to get the early win. We're in playoffs. Like, let's just full send it. I respect it. I get why. But you can't help but worry a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. At the end of this matchup, one of these players is going to be knocked out. I mean, that's an undeniable factor of crew battles, and it's something that's pretty jarring to think of, that one of these players has to take 3 stocks. But, yeah, I mean, you have to think that SU made this decision kind of with this in mind. After talking to the team, I did hear that every time, again, these two teams are very local to each other. They have a lot of history against each other, competitive history against each other. And it sounds like every time SU has played William & Mary, they have started either the Falco or the Wii Fit. So, a decision out of Captain Igloo here, who according to him, feels pretty good into both of those matchups, saying, all right, we won't risk putting Pac-Man out there, and William and Mary can start either of those two, or someone else maybe, but that would still give SU the counter pick in later stages. So I think, yeah, advantage SU in this one.
Which, talking about the other characters, we've harped a lot about this. We're talking Samus, we're talking Terry, and Sephiroth. These characters are all relatively just solid at their specific game plans. They're able to really keep things going. They're able to keep that momentum in their favor. But also, they're the kind of characters that do have potential to really mix things up if needed. You can truly, again, disrupt a game plan. For example, playing Samus, I don't know how you deal, or if Igloo is starting off, I don't know how you jump around those projectiles without burning your double jump. That is a very powerful tool. It's a lot to ask. I'm curious to see what adaptations they'll make going forward.
Absolutely, and we should be getting into it hopefully soon, but we have heard that we are going to take a quick breather to sort out some technical issues, so we're going to take a quick word from the school here, and we'll be back hopefully very soon. Don't go anywhere.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
I don't understand it, this wasn't the plan. Don't wanna demand it, I've done what I can. And I never mentioned the times you were rude. And I never mentioned when you heard the truth. Scared to lose it all, I will stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me saying away, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I don't like to leave things unresolved. Maybe it's madness. I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known, wasn't your fault. Don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear, trying to a chance, and I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I'm just standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us. It sounds like things have been resolved, at least as much as we can anticipate, or as much as we can hope. So we should be getting into game here soon. We've got Shenandoah University taking on William & Mary in round 2 of the NECC playoffs, and there's so much at stake. If any of you were able to tune in before that break, we covered a lot of it, and we'll be sure to cover more throughout the night, but should be getting into game here soon with technical issues now behind us.
Yeah, and I do think that button checks aside, I do believe we are getting into game side of things, Chris, which means that we should see a bit of action here as the Wii Fit trainer has deep breathing online and is immediately going for that game plan at the ledge. Notice how Wii Fit trainer gets so much pressure off of sitting at that ledge position. Because of the invincibility on re-grabbing the ledge, Wii Fit trainer can sit there for a really long time.
Yeah, and certainly sit there they will, and look to get this deep breathing online as well. We have yet to see that come in until now, so big buff onto this Wii Fit trainer, and this is a big matchup too. We talked about it before the break. One of these players has to walk out with 3 stocks, and Igloo looking to put this one away, but wow, I mean, that is the deep breathing damage and the knockback to it, launching Igloo from one end of the stage all the way to the far corner, but not finishing him off just yet.
Yeah, a back air from across the stage with insane knockback. The grab connects. It won't be enough to KO this time around, but it will buy enough time for some more deep breathing as we do see the game plan online once again. Notice how the pace is trying to slow down. Igloo's willing to play it a little bit slower, trying to hold on to the stock as long as possible. Does almost get hit by a quick sun, but is able to dance around it as, again, a bit slower pace, but one quick F-tilt call out on the jump will be enough to close out that stock.
Yeah, and we saw the matchup preference on the left side of your screen there, and I think it was full, and I think that's because more so that Igloo has a lot of experience in this matchup. Maybe not because of the characters specifically, but just because Igloo feels as comfortable as he can against this character. But so far, North really starting to put it together as he gets Igloo now up to well over 100% and threatening this second stock as Igloo just desperately tries to get back to stage, but loses a second one there. North on a roll now and really was hardly touched, if at all, during that second stock.
Yeah, a lot of rhythm in place and going for some crazy soccer plays as well. Able to get the back air, secure a little bit more damage, but is finding just these couple of stray hits, and it's really racking up into more and more. A couple of platform chases, too, have led to some really big percentage builds. So now it's going to be on Igloo. Yes, you're holding on to the stock as long as you can. The double jump is burned. The forward air all the way off stage, and Igloo can make it back, but 70% on the line. You do need to find a way to equalize this just a little bit more.
All right, life from SU. So we move on as the stock count now moves down to 11 to 10, favoring William & Mary, and Igloo's going to have to go on a heck of a run here if he is to come out on top, or at least get a second stock, you would hope, for SU's future, right? Again, we've said it a couple times now. One of these players has to walk out with 3 stocks, but if you're the other player, you'd like to walk out with at least 2. So Igloo looking to make that happen, but well over 100% again. No deep breathing online for North here, but up to now 70%.
Look at the aggression from Igloo on this last stock. It's understandable that you need to play it this aggressive at this point, but the value off of playing so in the face of the opponent is paying off. Igloo taking almost 30 or 40% in this stock alone is able to equalize things 1 stock to 1 stock.
Yeah, how about it? This has been a first half, second half matchup. I mean, North looked completely in control to start this, and Igloo goes on a heck of a run to bring it all the way back. He does go down in the end, but again, 2 stocks is all you can hope to walk out of there if you are to lose, and Igloo does walk away with those 2, but that does mean there's a problem looming for whoever has to go in next against this Wii Fit trainer.
When in a crew battle, someone has to walk away losing. It's the way it goes every time. But if you can secure the 2 stocks, that means that you have set your team up for the best possible outcome if you're behind. This Wii Fit trainer has caused a lot of problems starting things off, but this is the player that a lot of Shenandoah's roster was worried about besides the Falco. A majority of the players out of the way. You just need an answer. 1 stock. Maybe you do need to give 1 stock to the Wii Fit in exchange, but either way, I do believe Shenandoah's roster has the potential to close out this one without losing more than 1 and then secure another handful going forward.
Yeah, the problem now becomes, who do you ask to do that? I mean, if you put Pac-Man in now, you risk getting the Falco matchup that it's clear that Shenandoah doesn't want by holding Pac-Man for the opening matchup. So do you put Willie in now? I mean, it's something that SU has become very comfortable with is moving these openers and anchors all around and sort of abandoning the Pac-Man start, Willie finish that we've become so used to. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Frankly, I think it's a good thing that they're comfortable enough to be able to move these players around. But there is something to be said for comfort, having this heck of a player, this name brand player waiting in reserve. But in a situation like this, you might have to put him in now.
Yeah, I think there's a spot for both either Willie or Farambus. I think if you put in Willie, it's a good, just solid shutout strategy. Like, yes, Willie is a very good player, and this could be a way to just stop that momentum dead in its tracks. I do think there's a spot for Farambus too to match that sort of ledge stall game that we saw a little bit of and try to basically play the game off stage for as long as possible. Only difficult part of that is that Jigglypuff, being a little lighter, might be eating those back airs from across the stage at like 80 and losing the stock for it.
Yeah, no, you're right, and have to be afraid of that. But you can see behind us, and we load into game here. You can see it on your screen. The answer is Willie for SU, and tasked with just taking one stock off North, just without too much trouble. Like you said, it's hard to complain about trading stocks, but best case scenario for SU would be a clean win from Willie here.
Yeah, look at how North moves. We saw a really nice approach to get a punish on the Wii Fit trainer, and now both players sitting at about an even 40%, but the get-up attack getting a little bit more value. It's going to be on Willie to sort of find his way in for this matchup, which I imagine is extremely difficult. Terry is great on the ground and has a decent air game, but when sent off stage like this, I imagine getting back onto the stage is going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, so many hitboxes, so many mix-ups too, getting caught with the neutral B on the first landing and then caught shielding on the next one. North certainly getting into a rhythm here and getting an understanding of how Willie plays into these projectiles, into these hitboxes. And now, like you said, Willie just struggling to get in, struggling to find damage since the start of this first stock really opened up 40 to 40. Since then, it's been very Wii Fit leaning.
Yeah, those forward tilts offering a lot of value. Willie going for the power dunk, trying to cancel it, bait the Wii Fit trainer in. Wii Fit trainer playing a little bit more patient, understanding they can't go for anything too crazy this time around. But a quick, "Are you okay?" will send Wii Fit trainer flying to the blast zone.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, what did we say? We've been pretty accurate so far in the pre-games. You cannot complain about trading stocks 1-for-1. So Willie gets the job done, close to losing that second one, but didn't, and that's all that matters because that percentage goes off the screen, out of the game, and Willie goes into this next matchup with a fresh, clean 0% 2 stocks.
And you have to understand at this point, that is, again, a very big part of this roster out of the way. You, as the team behind, are going to want to equalize the stocks wherever you can find your opportunity. I do believe Willie is the kind of player to do that, but you also still do have two other players who have shown, with a little bit of momentum in their favor, they can really run away with it. So either Kip or Farambus can potentially find that extra stock to equalize things truly. But for now, I'm curious to see who we get to see for this next matchup.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story so far is that although statistically SU is behind, you have to feel like this has been pretty even so far, right? Because you're right, the North on this Wii Fit trainer does sort of outweigh other options on William and other threats on William and Mary, and now that is behind them. So SU with some room to work with, but still plenty of stocks to get through. And you're right, now the answer, or the ball sits in William and Mary's court. Who do you put in to deal with this Terry? And we know that Terry is not his Kazuya, right? That sounds like a redundant thing to say, but these are two very different playstyles, although they seem very similar. It feels like Willie tends to go Terry when he feels the need to play a little safer. So a little more flexible in that sense. He's more comfortable in this situation having to deal with the other team's counterpick.
Yeah, Kazuya is all momentum. Terry sacrifices a little bit of that momentum in exchange for survivability. I feel like you have just a lot more tools, a lot more ways to get around things using crack shoot and the spot dodge move. I forget the proper
Yeah.
name of it, but Terry
Like,
has a move
yeah.
where, he goes for an elbow upwards that is a very nice tool to just have access to. You get a little bit more of a defensive game, and it could pay off big. Ordinarily, I would say, from William and Mary, I would expect potentially like the Samus player to step on in and try to projectile to wall out this fighting game player playstyle, but I don't know if that's what you want to commit to necessarily. Maybe you try to send in the Sephiroth. Maybe you use that big sword to potentially poke out and use the wing to jump far off stage and keep Terry away. Either way, I think there's good options.
Yeah, the biggest question for me would be, does a Power Wave trade with a Samus neutral B? Like a charge shot, can that be deleted by a Power Wave? I don't know.
I think it depends on the charge, Chris. I was
could
not
be.
expecting this.
All right, well, we get our answer, and we won't have to answer that Samus question just yet. William and Mary making a decision to put Toad in on this Falco. Falco, a character, and this player SU has some uncomfortable history with, but now with an opportunity and character in their favor, as SU was looking to avoid this character as long as possible, but good stuff so far from Willie. Really in a rhythm, catching Falco with a power dunk on the middle platform.
Yeah, Toad feeling the pressure right now. And I love the SDI we're seeing out of this Falco.
Yeah.
Falling out of all of these power dunks. That's a lot. Like, multiple times, Toad would have lost this stock. But instead, Willie, playing it a bit patient, does find a good spot dodge, is able to get the down tilt into the crack shoot, get a little bit more percentage built, and is looking for that final hit. Goes for the dash attack, and that will be enough as Willie equalizes the stocks. And we have even series for the first time since the start.
Okay, yeah, and for the first time, Toad able to really find anything. A good little combo there to get some damage onto Willie, but so far Willie has been really in the driver's seat, and now finally racking up some damage. Toad really finding some room to work with, and does, wow, find the connected up throw and able to take a stock off Willie off of a well-placed back air. So stock count falls in favor of William and Mary again, but Willie doing a phenomenal job right now getting rid of these two problems from William and Mary.
Yeah, look at how Willie keeps covering the jump from ledge with those spikes. Falco has a really good jump game, and that means that Willie's just trying to condition Toad into continuously landing on the ledge. And if that keeps happening, I imagine we'll see a setup when it's needed most. But for now, again, another great SDI getting out of these power dunks.
Yeah, man, it's becoming awfully consistent, and that's going to be a problem for Willie if he doesn't have that power dunk to lean on. But he can lean on it that way with a fist right on Toad's head, catching him on the platform. You said not comfortable jumping and catches him on the floor. That's not where you'd like to be against the Terry.
Yeah, so now one good up tilt Terry game, stalling it out. Burn Knuckle adding up to about 55% and counting as we do see a couple more spikes. Again, keeping Toad grounded. It's okay if I give you that get up off of the ledge. I just don't want to deal with that Falco jump game. I don't want to give you center stage control unless I make the mistake going forward after that get up. So now both players sitting at about the same percent. One nair connects. It won't be enough to combo this time around as both players are looking for that final hit.
Yeah, both players really just starting to dance around each other. Again, the up throw connects with a back air, but not able to finish this one off, and the go meter is online now. Both of these players in their last stock, and you have to think that just about anything could finish it from here, but Willie with a raw Buster Wolf. It connects, but can't finish, so evens percentages out. If nothing else, it catches the dash attack. Willie puts SU up one stock through two players.
Brother, that is a different kind of conditioning.
Wow.
He jumped, Chris.
He jumped.
He jumped. The one time Willie is not there, Falco says, I'm free. I can jump from the ledge, and suddenly there's a shoulder in the face of Falco. Toad goes down, and Shenandoah takes the lead.
How about it? And that's a great eye from you to call out the conditioning. Every single time that Falco was on the ledge, Willie was standing there with a spike ready for the jump. And the one time that Willie isn't there, Falco goes, all right, I'll jump. And bang, Willie is all over it. That's high level smash, and that's what it's going to take to win and advance to grand finals here. Impressive stuff from SU as they snatch the stock lead here.
Beautiful play from both sides. We saw Falco securing that up throw into the back air, and that was the kind of play that, like, you need to be ready for. A very good Falco player will not keep you alive past like 2 or 3 strings. And that's what we saw. After the chip damage or like the lasers, it was truly just a tilt game, and that's it. Willie was at like 90 before that grab connected, very deliberately not sending Willie into go meter, because then we saw the raw Buster Wolf. Willie,
that was crazy. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Willie just full momentum saying like, enough of this. It's crazy.
Yeah. So now here's the biggest plus side of what we just watched too. Not only does Willie go positive, he now has 4 stocks, and what did we say? When you're behind, you're going to have to find it, the equalizer. Well, now Willie has done that and has room to go get more, but with Falco off the table, that now unlocks Pac-Man for the rest of this SU squad, right? When Willie theoretically inevitably gets knocked out on this last stock, whether it's now or 3-4 stocks from now, who knows, but now SU has the breathing room to put Pac-Man in whenever they need to. Falco is in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, and that's a huge fear factor. Again, Kip averages a lot of stocks in his value. So to get rid of problematic matchups, it feels like a bit of a chess game. Whatever move your opponent makes, you're very deliberately looking for your opportunity to close things out. And this is that opportunity. The big factor, the queen, is out of the way. Now it's on you. Can you find those last couple of movements to really close out this series?
And we get the age-old question, age-old meaning about 10 minutes old, if that. Does Terry Power Wave beat a Samus charge shot?
Oh,
the answer for William and Mary. We're getting confirmation. Thank you. It does not. So good to know. And I think that makes sense, right? I think that would be ridiculous to assume that it would. I just know that Samus charge shot does get beat by a shocking amount of things, but looks like Terry does not have one of those options. So RevEX coming in for William and Mary, looking to put out the fire as Willie looks to continue all this momentum and maybe steal another stock or even more.
Man, look at how Willie keeps covering these jump ups again and again, just trying to make sure that I will secure these stocks if you try to jump. You can keep going for other stuff, and when I need to use that to my advantage, I will. But for now, you got a projectile game to dance through. RevEX is able to get a lot of value, does get Willie to air dodge back onto the stage, finds the grab, eating a lot of percentage, but does find the ledge. At this point, it's both players looking for that final bit of game plan, but the charge shot is thrown out as Willie finds the opportunity for a Buster Wolf. It won't KO, but it does add a solid amount of percentage.
Yeah, and that was a scary situation, too, for RevEX, because I don't know that they had a jump there, but able to make it back nonetheless. And Go Meter is online. The uppies out of shield are coming out as the safest option for RevEX to try to finish this off. Charge shot connects, and they look to maintain space. Good job there with the down B setup, catching Willie on the neutral getup. So stocks even out once again, but Willie getting the job done for SU.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Shenandoah wanted. Finding an opportunity to equalize things out. Samus is on the table, all the information is in play, and I do believe that we see Kip entering the hot seat.
Yeah, okay, so what did we just say? Pac-Man is unlocked, and here we go. I mean, now we get to witness why that matters. SU very comfortable sitting behind this Pac-Man. This, like we've said, has been a statistical anomaly over the last couple weeks, especially in Collegiate Smash Bros. Competition. Kip with multiple, I want to say 3 at least, 12 stock runs in the last couple weeks of competition. Insane run, absolutely ridiculous to expect ever, let alone 3 times in that short of a window. But why does that matter? Well, now, yeah, I mean, this is a runway for Pac-Man to go on a run. It's certainly not a given. I would not ask or expect Kip to go 6 stocks from here, but you have to think that situations like that are on the table with SU now in full stride.
Yeah, when it comes to this matchup, you're dealing with a heavy horizontal projectile game. All of Samus's projectiles, they don't do any funky fruit shenanigans. They don't go at these crazy angles or sit slowly in space. They go straight. They go in a line. And that is a lot of what Kip's game plan tries to stop, is throw down the hydrant, go on the other side, charge my fruit until I have the one that I need for whatever percentage you're at. You're at 0, it's Galaga. You're at 70 or higher, it's usually Bell. Going for that, though, Charge Shot, I imagine, at a certain threshold, it will just knock out the Hydrant outright. So it's going to be on Kip maybe having to get rid of whichever fruit he's currently on, and then go to the other side of the stage, throw down another Hydrant, and then pick the next fruit. Like, taking the time to not stray away from the game plan, but understanding that, yes, Samus could throw a wrench in things, I just need to play it just a little slower.
Well, even stocks, but you have to feel like momentum is at least somewhat on SU's side here. We will see if that's true, but we load into our next matchups here. 6 stocks on 6 stocks. Third player against third player. It's Kip taking on ReviX, the Samus.
Man, there was a big delay on that charge shot hitting the Hydrant and then not moving. So that is another factor to keep in mind here, is that you may need to hold on to the shield for a little bit longer. But for now, both players willing to play the slow game.
Yeah.
As another charge shot on that Hydrant just keeps it in an awkward spot. But ReviX is feeling the pressure at a distance already, Chris. Not getting any damage on the Pac-Man so far, but is looking to get a reaction out of Kip. And Kip is saying, I will willingly play this matchup as slow as I need to.
Yeah, and Samus opting to hold on to this fruit so that Kip can't get another one and sit back. Samus only needs her B button, but will finally drop the fruit and give Kip some room to work with. Kip still untouched so far, but the key gets shielded. Kip trying to steal this first stock without too much trouble, and well on his way of doing so, but it does not take much to start racking up percentage. Another jump over the charge shot, another charge shot miss as the stun lands, but I don't think Kip was ready for that one as Samus stood perfectly under the arc, but not that time. Caught on the running throw, and now Kip with a stock advantage for SU for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and that means that now ReviX, who tried to play this matchup, playing their own game plan, is now feeling the pressure to play into Kip's. You can try to commit to your game plan, but it won't work out always. As speaking of not working out always, that's crazy that trades.
See what I mean? I'm not crazy for thinking that a bunch of random things just beat Samus' charge shot. I mean, the Galaga just outright not only gets rid of the charge shot, but goes through it, keeps going on its path. That's hilarious, but we'll see if Kip's able to keep using that for his own benefit as the game has slowed down a little bit. Damage sort of racking its way up. Again, Samus only finding 60% on to Kip so far, but again, I mean, the fact that you can just safely throw Galaga and still continue a combo through a basically, if not fully charged Samus neutral B is crazy, and I think explains why we saw the matchup preference there be so positive for Kip.
Yeah, as another Galaga is thrown out, Kip is going to be at the ledge without a fruit in hand, and will be able to get around it. ReviX has found a majority of the percentage this stock on the close interactions, playing in Kip's face, but understandably so. Look at how they do try to keep that distance, understanding that, hey, if you're going to charge your fruit, I'm willing to charge my charge shot, but is it going to be enough? Is that what you need as another fruit is grabbed and now Kip is going to be the one who needs to go on the aggression?
Yeah, now we see not for long there as the Hydrant does connect onto Kip, able to survive that one, but we're seeing Kip maybe get a little too comfortable standing behind his Hydrant. Now, well shielded. Oh wow, that could have been disastrous for ReviX, but escaping that one, and now again, percents both well over 100%. You have to think that just about anything would finish it, but gotta be careful of those Hydrants. And another fruit caught here. ReviX opting to not hold on to that one for very long.
Yeah, and we do see ReviX is really trying to get Kip feeling the pressure, using the grab invincibility to get around the Samus section, but I do see a Bell connect, and it is crazy just how confident that this Samus player is as trying to re-grab these fruit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's working out great, but not that time as the Hydrant lands perfectly on ReviX's chest. So now damage coming out early. I mean, we know how overwhelming those Galaga combos can be, and the up out of shield, not safe that time. So Kip able to get even more percent and still untouched in the second stock. I mean, the little opportunities that ReviX has found to get any damage, any momentum for themselves have been very short-lived, and Kip making full use of it so far, able to find the jab and get ReviX off stage, forced to use the Galaga on the ledge, but can't find it just yet. More damage, though. I mean, no kill threat yet, but just racking up percentage.
Yeah, Bell is online. Kip has it in hand. Will be able to throw it out when necessary. Does have it shielded, but an orange will send Samus flying the other way as Kip decides to charge, but Samus sitting back this time around, not going for anything too crazy. Gets another re-grab and is going to throw it one more time. Kip sitting at 44, using the invincibility again, and armors through it. The hydrant only has one active hitbox. The moment it is used, it is done. So the invincibility just means that Kip can sit there.
Very smart. Good observation again, Kevin, as the up B still not safe that time. Down smash does not kill at about 140. Another grabbed fruit. This guy is crazy. But no iframes that time. A good 2-frame as they are able to spot dodge to the ledge. And now, again, ReviX just looking to hold on to this fruit, maybe stall it out as long as possible. 183, and Kip's kill threat does become a little less overwhelming without fruit, but not enough to keep that last stock. ReviX goes down, and Pac-Man is on full go.
One stock for 3, Chris. What did we say? It's been about an average of 1 stock to 3. If you don't have an answer for Pac-Man, it causes problems. And we are seeing it on full display this time around. It's great that we got to see just how well that game plan was, but also that Samus player holding on to that bell could have been disastrous.
That was wicked to watch.
Yeah. I do want to acknowledge Samus did have relatively linear recovery because they were holding on to the bell. They couldn't use the tether move that they have to grab the ledge. But at the same time, they were doing a great job of getting back to stage. They just felt the pressure to throw the bell, and a lot of people roll after they get back onto that ledge, which means Kip covers the options, covers the neutral get up, uses the dragging hitbox, goes backwards, and catches the roll in just the right spot.
How about it? I mean, Kip, with limited options, I don't think in all of our time casting this team in particular, I don't think I've ever seen an opponent grab that many fruits, especially so deliberately, too. I mean, that player was going out of their way to drift, grab a bell, and go off stage. I've never seen anything like that, and it worked for its purpose. It really limited Kip's options, and ultimately Kip's still able to get the job done, but that was something to behold. I genuinely have never seen someone play like that into Pac-Man.
Yeah, I've never seen it into Pac-Man. There was a player here at Shenandoah who would do it to me when I played K-Roll. They'd grab the crown and run to the other side of the stage and throw it down, and it causes so many problems. If your entire game plan is around a move like that, whether it is the crown ring or the fruit...
What?
Whoa, Chris.
Wow. Okay, we get a Pac-Man Ditto for the first time on our broadcast, I think, ever. An opponent is playing Pac-Man into Kip. How about it? Well, we will see if Kip's able to come out on top, but man, this is a twist. This was not on our list.
Man, there is someone in production who doesn't like the Galaga sound, and now they get to hear it twice as much. This is going to be great. No, bells are being thrown out right now. Both players are playing their game plan, and keep in mind, so Shenandoah's Pac-Man is going to be the one with the black wristbands. The other side has the normal base Pac-Man as a way to differentiate things beyond just trying your best. But as we see, a bit of a combo game, both players trading percentages as they both decide to charge until the fruit they desire. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of approaches both players take to trying to close stocks. The get-up attack is called out, and the bell connects, which means that J-Tron will be able to close out this stock.
Man, even I am losing track of which Pac-Man is which up here. This is crazy to watch. But, I mean, you have to think to some extent both of these players kind of have each other's tricks at least familiarized. But how well can you play against them? Well, we will see J-Tron finding the first stock there, but not before taking a lot of percentage in. Now, okay, can both players put out two different hydrants? I mean, I would assume so.
Yes, you can put out two different hydrants, and I do believe you can grab the other Pac-Man's fruit and then resume charging off of whatever fruit they threw at you, which is insane interactions. But for now, Kip is looking to close out this first stock as there's our two hydrants, Chris. All the water flowing in the world.
This is insane to watch, and so far J-Tron looking pretty comfortable in it, not before losing or taking a lot of percentage though. But I mean, look at the bell setups are still going both ways. Two bells on your screen, and the back air takes the first stock off of Jatron. Well done by Kip to take that stock. So we move on. Another opportunity for Kip to go to work. But I mean, again, the best way to keep track, I'm trying to look at the names. I'm trying to look at the wristbands. This is hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking two Pac-Mans doing a lot of the same thing. So when it comes to the intricacies of this game plan, it's going to be on Kip to play things slow. We do see a couple of fruit thrown, the key thrown out, both players throwing out their hydrants, trying to send the others flying either way, both charging fruit at the same time, as it's going to be hard to close out this stock. Oh, excuse me, you can charge another fruit in the same space as holding on to the other. That is still incredibly important for the game plan going forward.
We are all learning together right now as, wow, Jatron gets a good little angle on that fire hydrant, and now catches the back air, catches Kip getting on stage. The hydrant angle, can't find it, but the key can. Jatron comes out on top in the ditto, but does lose a stock, and now we have one player left with a stock advantage that comes down to this.
Yeah, so now we are at this point. Shenandoah with a 3-2 lead going into this. Far Rhombus getting ready to go into the hot seat up against a matchup that they could be familiar with. They do warm up with Pac-Man, warm up with Kip on multiple occasions. That's just by nature of how the team play is. And the play styles were relatively similar. It just felt like a lot more lenient on like get off me tools from the opponent this time around. A lot of like jump up forward air out of shield, a lot of hydrant just like like throwing it down just to get something down, and it works. But you need to be deliberate with the game plan going forward. Pac-Man can live for an incredibly long time. It's going to be on Far Rhombus to find opportunities to close out those stocks beyond just building percent.
Yeah, and we'll see if he's able to get it done, but this is tough. I mean, I hate to say it, you would love to see Kip come away with a little bit more there to give as much of a cushion to Far Rhombus as possible, but 2 stocks still better than 3 for Far Rhombus to now get through, but see if he's able to get it done. But you said it. I mean, this is, I have to think, kind of a tough matchup for Jigglypuff, although he would have theoretical experience against Kip's Pac-Man. So I don't know. I mean, this is a big moment for Far Rhombus and for both teams, both players here, because this is it. This is set number 1. Both players are the last one for their teams.
And you know what the hardest part about all this is? If you were to tell me all of these players on William and Mary and tell me where Jigglypuff should slot in, I don't know if I could give you a strong answer. Yeah, it feels like a lot of matchups are incredibly difficult, so leaving Far Rhombus in the back, definitely the right play this time around. I'm curious to see how this plays out, because it could decide if this is the answer going forward. If instead of trading the 1 stock for 1 stock, it will be Far Rhombus who says, hey, I'll answer this Pac-Man. We didn't even know they had a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
This will work out great.
Yeah, I mean, that was a total surprise for me, and I'm very curious if that Pac-Man is one of the players that we were expecting, just on a character that I wasn't expecting. Hard to say. I don't have their names written down, so I won't be able to confirm. But, I mean, yeah, that was a heck of a twist and a spectacle to behold, if nothing else.
No, how funny would it be? There was a Terry player that I don't believe we saw. How funny would it be if they just pick up a character that the other school is playing? So it's like, enough of playing Willie's character. Let's move over to Kip. Kip's been doing well. Let's try this Pac-Man character.
Why not?
That would be hilarious. But
yeah.
For now, I think we should focus on the matchup ahead of us. A Jigglypuff versus Pac-Man. 2 spheres duking it out. Who is more spherical?
Who is the rounder character? I don't know. We will see, but we load into our final matchup of this set. The task laid out in front of us. 2 stocks in front of Far Rhombus, 3 stocks in front of Jatron. Did a great job taking care of Kip at first, so can he finish the job, or will Far Rhombus start to run away with this one, we shall see. But as we load into the game, we are on Final Bastion, and both of these players playing pretty slow.
Yeah, as we do see a Galaga combo start things off pretty strong. Far Rhombus looking for an opportunity to get back to the ledge, does find it. Goes for a down air, it won't connect except on the shield, which means that he will take a little bit more percentage, but is willing to play this game a little bit slower. Does have the bell into Pac-Man's hands, will connect as the stock count evens out.
Yeah, great job from Jtron to play slow and sort of draw Far Rhombus into him, and a lot of run back combos of the hydrant, the bells ready every time. Now Far Rhombus sort of on the back foot, as he was not able to find much percentage on that first stock. So we have a statistically even game on our hands. Far Rhombus starting to find some percentage, goes for that falling up air, does get the pound onto the shield, so that's pretty scary, something to keep in mind for Jtron for the next couple seconds.
Yeah, as we do see Pac-Man's game plan online, the bell is locked in, will be thrown, regrabbed, and Far Rhombus still playing in the face of this Pac-Man, trying to not be too intimidated by the bell, but there is a level of respect you have to give to it. So Far Rhombus dancing around it, does find an opportunity to keep Jtron on their toes. They do end up landing back onto the stage at about 58%. One nair will connect. Jigglypuff going for the forward air as both players trade, and Far Rhombus doing a great job of holding on to the stock.
Yeah, doing good so far, and a big tone shift from the first one as he goes up and hits the hydrant. Again, just racking up percents with little hitboxes here and there. That is the Jigglypuff game, and something we're pretty used to seeing from Jigglypuff is go off stage and sort of train these people all the way off, but Pac-Man with an incredible recovery can make it back from anywhere. He does take that second stock off Far Rhombus, and now with only one to work with, Far Rhombus has a hill to climb.
Yeah, and we do see Pac-Man calling out the air dodge, is able to get the dash attack follow-up and get a Galaga online. It is thrown, but the follow-up isn't too much except for the down air. Apple thrown out, caught back by the water of the fire hydrant. Far Rhombus looking for the opportunity to find one more strong hit, but for now is dancing around the Pac-Man game plan. Not trying to play horizontal, instead trying to play a vertical game, but even so, it is very difficult.
Yeah, Jtron doing a good job of not really letting that happen. I mean, staying so far to the other side of the stage. Far Rhombus did a good job of sort of contesting blows and trading here and there for the last stock, but now Far Rhombus goes deep off stage, is able to air dodge back to the ledge and just needs to get this first stock out of the way.
Yeah, there's that back air, which will be able to equalize the stocks. Now, Chris, if I'm Far Rhombus, you are looking for a very particular part of your game plan because there's a lot of scary options from Pac-Man that could close out a stock at this point. The bell is gone this time, yes, but the apple is grabbed. It's thrown down to Pac-Man as Pac-Man has to recover back onto the stage. Will find the opportunity as Far Rhombus is looking to exchange hits.
Yeah, now up to 110% here. This is running out of room for error. Not many mistakes left in Far Rhombus's kit, but still whole stock ahead of him. Avoids that bell, but can't get away from the hydrant and does get caught. Jtron gets it done and takes set number 1 from the jaws of defeat. William and Mary strike back and take the first set.
Yeah, and that is how this goes. I think this Pac-Man sort of threw a wrench into everyone's game plans for SU. It was a lot of just not expecting the situations that were ahead of them, as we do see Kip giving a little bit of an explanation going forward. Both players trying to get a good understanding of what all needs to happen going into this series, or going forward in the series. It's not a one and done, folks. We've still got more Smash Bros. To play. You will see a very nice adaptation from Shenandoah, I am positive. And if it's good enough, that means this series will go to a third series.
Exactly, yeah. All that means is that if Shenandoah is to come out on top, we've got a long night ahead of us. But we'll get there when we get there, as William and Mary does a great job, clawing back from that one after it looked pretty grim from the Willie performance leading into the 3-1 performance out of Kip. I mean, great stuff from SU getting the job done where they had their game plan set, but Jtron, throwing a heck of a wrench in that rhythm in the game plan for SU. So Impressive stuff all around. Lot to be happy with for both sides, but William & Mary ultimately comes out on top in a nail-biter, and that is exactly how this went the last time these two teams played. I mean, online specifically. When these teams played last semester in the regular season, it was a nail-biter all the way down the stretch, and it went to set number 3, and William & Mary came out on top. So we'll see if they're able to repeat here tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tall ask. There's a lot that this entire series went back and forth, which means that a lot of changes could be made from either side on who they want to send in to try and equalize things, depending on who gets the win, who gets that early initiation lead sort of deal. I do want to acknowledge that Avery was the one who said, like, I feel confident into the Wii Fit and the Falco. You could start Igloo again and try to call out those two matchups. I don't know what the Yoshi Pac-Man looks like, but I imagine that's another one that could be in reserve. But then the answer becomes, who do you send in for that Wii Fit trainer? I don't think you change that up necessarily, but there's so many different ways you could look at it, who you want to send in, who could run away with more. It's a lot to ask, but I do think that there are good options.
Yeah, and it's tough, too, because if you remember all the way back, it feels like forever ago, when we saw Igloo take on North on the Wii Fit, it was pretty one-sided for Wii Fit until later on, when Igloo was able to claw back and take 2 stocks in a very valiant effort, like upwards of 100% for the last couple minutes of that game, and was able to get a couple stocks. But I feel like that's a scary thing to put Igloo into again and expect the same results, right? I don't know, and maybe it was Igloo just sort of shaking rust off, settling in, and the second half of that matchup is what we can expect going forward. Ultimately, Igloo's the only person who can know the answer to that question, but that does scare me a little bit to expect that same result 2 times in a row.
Yeah, but even so, I think you say it on the desk a lot, Chris. Cool, calm, and collected.
He is. He's a bad man.
Yeah. Which means that is a player that can get a lot. And I think we have seen the players go in and confirm the first matchup for this crew battle as they get stage counter picks online. It will be Igloo up against the Falco player this time around, confirming what Igloo said before. It's either the Wii Fit or it's going to be the Falco player who starts things off.
Yeah, and I think this has benefits for both sides, because Igloo made it clear to me that he feels good about the Falco matchup as well, but William & Mary clearly making the decision that, all right, we value these Wii Fit stocks more than losing 2 in the first matchup, right? So I think they have a plan here of, all right, we want to hold on to North as long as possible, and then that does beg the question of, if Igloo gets knocked out here, then who do you send in to deal with that? And I feel like it would then have to be Willie, and they sort of trade places from set number 1, but I don't know. I don't hate this for either side. I certainly don't hate this for SU. I don't hate it for William & Mary, because they're clearly the ones with making that decision, but I don't know. That's hard to say.
I think it's smart from both sides, specifically because we saw the value of the Wii Fit trainer. So William & Mary says, if this character is so valuable, let's keep it in reserve. Let's get that guaranteed value out of them, right? It's a game of numbers. There are 12 stocks on either side. Someone needs to take all 12.
Yeah.
But for Shenandoah, they know, hey, we've got a lot of flexibility. Why are we changing? Why should we change who goes in first? Igloo did a strong performance opening up, and that should mean that this time around should have another great opener. The big question will be, who goes in with that initial knowledge? Who is able to walk out on top this time around? I do think that this first match will be incredibly important as we hop into game. Toad versus Igloo.
Yeah, but first matchup of set number 2, SU looking to strike back, and now Toad finding his combos onto Igloo and getting him up to 70% just like that. So, trend so far favoring Toad, but this is a trend setter. This matchup is a big one for SU. If they are to have any shot at coming back, Igloo jumps a little higher than I think he was expecting. Takes a little bit of extra damage for it, but now Igloo with an opportunity to really start racking up percentage the other direction.
Yeah, but look at that double jump armor. Igloo ate a full back air. Igloo ate a full Falco back air and survived because of that double jump armor, which should play a pretty big factor going forward. This time around, it's the sour spot that will lead Igloo to hold onto the stock for a little bit longer. Falco using the double jump, trying to recover high. Does eat a jab into the down B. It won't be enough to close things out, but it's that rage, Chris, that makes that combo, I believe, true, which is crazy to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, and that's really something interesting to me as Igloo does go off stage and finish that first stock off, but not before it is promptly traded back. It's something that we've seen sort of added to Igloo's gameplay as of recently. These down Bs have been coming through a lot more, and whereas I usually say that it's to break shields, like usually I see it against opponents that like to shield a lot, it's starting to serve other purposes for Igloo, and then that one gets a kill spar, can't quite finish the job, but an interesting sight to see that is another option in Igloo's wheelhouse.
Yeah, a lot of moves on Smash characters, some better than others, and I'm glad to see that Igloo's finding opportunities to implement all of them. But there goes that double jump armor getting through the Falco forward air as the scrab goes through, but it doesn't connect this time around as Toad is keeping pressure on this Dino.
Yeah, and now Igloo once again just kind of on the back foot for a lot of the stock, but every time we've seen this, it's been like this until Igloo gets an opportunity like this to sort of strike back quickly and efficiently, and we'll see if he's able to maintain that momentum. But here we go again, right? As soon as Toad gets a game plan going, oh man, can struggle to finish the stock against Igloo specifically.
Yeah, look at how Igloo is dodging around these up smashes. That's 2 up smashes so far that Igloo has been able to dance around. Toad is definitely feeling the pressure. Igloo will be able to make it back this time around, but you also have to keep that side special in mind. Igloo can go pretty far off stage, but can't go too far.
Yeah, and what a comeback there from Igloo. That certainly scared me, but a double jump and an up B is all you need on Yoshi, and I guess that sounds obvious, but Yoshi's the one character in the game that can make me doubt that. Shielded up smash there. Toad just looking to finish this stock off. Both of these players just looking to find their one, and Igloo's the first to strike this time once again, so stock advantage in favor of Igloo as now he looks to rack up whatever extra credit he can. Oh, spiked back down into the stage. Toad still can't finish the job, and now this is getting a little scary. Igloo goes off stage, tries to steal one. Might look again, but Toad making sure to avoid it.
Yeah, look at this. Toad is still looking for those opportunities to close out the stock, looking for the up smashes and the back airs, but isn't finding them. This time around, going for the down tilt, but is going super far off stage with that egg, and Igloo will eat the up B, has to air dodge back to the ledge, is able to make it. He eats the down tilt, but it's not going to be enough to KO this time around, as Falco will once again look for a potential to close out. There's that down smash, and it will catch it, but again, the double jump armor coming in to not let the down tilt KO either.
Yeah, so Igloo, I'm sure would love to still have that one, but can't be upset as now he does have Falco up to 92%, a little drag down forward air. Can't find much more, and Igloo with an opportunity to take this stock. The up air doesn't connect, but he does catch Toad on the wrong side of a side B. So Igloo, again, looking for these back airs. The nice parries out of both sides. Both of these players really playing around their shields well, but Toad now over 100%, sending the reflector out, not letting Igloo establish the eggs. But now off stage, Igloo has a ton of room to work with, and Falco goes under the stage and gets caught under it. So we come out on the better side of the opening matchup here. SU walking out with 3 stocks in their hand, and the peanut gallery comes out with quite a pop-off for Igloo.
And it's needed at this point. You can definitely feel the pressure on the team right now because they understand what's on the line. So to have definitely a bit of an audience behind them, getting up, getting excited, that helps. It really does. It lightens the mood a little bit. It keeps you, yes, you want to be focused on that game. You want to really hinder, or like you want to get really into the intricacies of your game plan, but it helps alleviate it. Sometimes you can get so far into your own head that it really messes up your game plan. And so I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also worth noting that even with all that action and energy behind him, Igloo with an absolutely stone-cold face. sitting at the setup. He's got business to take care of, and he's not going to let anyone distract him. Certainly not that guy behind Kevin. But yeah, so we now await the answer. Again, a big deal for SU coming into tonight was this Falco player. Falco as a character and Toad specifically have caused problems for SU's roster in the past, and now through 2 sets, Falco walks out with less than 3 stocks.
Yeah, which does mean that now Kip is back on the table. I do believe that this is a big opener, but a little bit more of a question, because now you have 2 other characters who, I don't know what the Wii Fit Pac-Man preferability is, but it could be extremely bad for Kip. It could cause a lot of problems. I understand how. You're sitting, Wii Fit trainer's sitting at the ledge, Kip will charge a fruit, but then suddenly Wii Fit has deep breathing, and I don't know. It's a lot to ask. On top of that, there's now a Pac-Man in the mix on the other side, and it did cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, and something I want to mention that I'm a little scared of. Igloo did mention, maybe I shouldn't say this until we know who their character is. No, I'll go ahead and say it. Igloo did tell me before the series that the Samus matchup is abysmal for Yoshi. If we can avoid that, he would certainly like to. And as I see that we are picking the stage, I think that means that their character must have been locked in before I said that, so I feel a little bit better. But that's certainly something that I'm afraid of in this moment. If William and Mary does opt to send in Samus, that does seem like a surefire way to even the stock count out. But anybody else, and I think Igloo has a shot of taking some stocks off.
Man, it's literally the definition of you can't beat him, join him, because Igloo's been picking up this Samus now, which has been so incredibly valuable throughout this, throughout all of the crew battles. This time around, I do think that the Yoshi is definitely generating more value for what's being asked. There are a lot of tough matchups for a lot of what of Shenandoah's roster has to offer. So Igloo kind of being that player to really break up the problem, find a path, and sure enough, Wii Fit Trainer is back in this time around, and I'm curious to see if we will see a good adaptation this time around, or is North going to try and repeat last time's matchup?
Yeah, this really interests me because the decision to send Falco out, it was clear to me that they did not want North into Yoshi, but he was able to get it done last time and taking 3 stocks off Igloo on this exact character, and now Igloo plays the platform game. We will play this as long as we need to, and I'm curious what the plan is.
It's because of the deep breathing, Chris. Igloo's stalling out the deep breathing as long as possible, saying, I'm not dealing with that knockback game, I'm not dealing with the percentage game. If you want to use deep breathing, that's fine, but we're not playing the game for another 30 seconds.
Really interesting and very smart. I mean, Igloo is not afraid to run away and sit for as long as possible, and again, I mean, you can look at the top right corner of your screen. We've got 9 minutes. Igloo can take as long as he needs to in those intermissions, so we'll see if he needs to again. But now, you said it, the deep breathing is not a factor until now, and we see the game plan come back.
Yep, run it back. Keep going to the platforms. A Sun is charged up. Igloo going back to the other platform will mean that Wii Fit Trainer is able to follow up, does use the Sun, which consumes the deep breathing. Igloo, full gas the moment it's gone. 2 forward airs, trying to bait out a Wii Fit Trainer option, does get the Nair to follow it up. Wii Fit Trainer only has the up B to get back onto the stage, but the hitbox does beat out that down air this time around as Igloo goes all the way and finds an up smash to close out the stock.
Okay, how about it? That offstage interaction looks very favorable for Igloo, but North able to get out of it, and I would have loved that one back for Igloo, but still able to take care of business. And look at this! Igloo can buy as much time as he needs to get rid of the deep breathing, and now just going in while the deep breathing is still active. So, but not for long, it will be refreshed, and now we reestablish. We go back to our hidey hole, and that's totally fine with SU.
Yeah, as we do see Wii Fit Trainer able to grab the able to get a throw online. The Igloo taking the aggressive approach, taking advantage of that. North is not ready for these Igloo approaches right now, and because of that, they have to go super far off stage. They'll go low, but the double jump was consumed, but at an extremely good cost for Shenandoah as Igloo walks away 4 stocks in hand.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure he'd love that one back, but ultimately still doing a good job of stealing a stock off that player. I mean, we said it the first time around. You can never complain about trading one stock for one stock in those situations, but I mean, that one just felt a little bit different. I'm sure North was not expecting that type of playstyle because that's not what we saw the first time, but Igloo showing the veteran presence, getting it done where he needs to, and walking out with 4 stocks this time around.
And you need to play to your strengths in these sorts of situations. If you're going to deal with deep breathing, you need to run. I understand that Smash Bros. Is a kind of game where you want to run at your opponent 24/7, or you want to set up your game plan, you want to wall out with projectiles. That's fine. But if you understand that my opponent has this wacky game plan that they're going for, where they get a lot more damage and knockback for just existing and breathing a little bit, like, that's to knock out that game plan and then suddenly change the momentum too, because Igloo would go in from time to time while the deep breathing was still active as a way to almost call out, like, you're just expecting me to stall it out all the way. You're not ready for my approach, and it paid off multiple times.
It absolutely did, and that's exactly what we've come to expect from that player. I mean, he is cold-blooded as it gets, but now we have a situation because now SU needs to make a decision on who is going to take care of the majority of this Wii Fit stocks still, and it's going to have to be someone we haven't seen because last time it was Igloo, and now Igloo's off the table. The big difference now is that with Falco behind us, we already said it, that Pac-Man is now enabled. So, in my opinion, I think you have to think that Pac-Man's coming in here over presumably Willie, but
I imagine that's the case, especially because Wii Fit Trainer has 2 stocks. I think you could make an argument for Willie going in on the 1 because that's what we saw last time, was a 1-for-1 trade with Willie walking away with 2 stocks in hand and enabling him to continue that momentum going forward. This time around, the Falco is off the table even earlier than last time, so why not remove another big problem? Wii Fit Trainer is going to have to deal with the pack, and that means that you have a lot of projectile game ahead of you.
All right, let's get a good stretch, says North, as we load into our next matchup. Only 2 stocks for North to work with. That did 22%?
That was a Galaga plus soccer ball in the face of the opponent right away. Man, that Galaga's got a lot that it beats out. What in the world?
That's ridiculous. The Galaga can just go through a fully charged Wii Fit neutral B. All right, well, we've seen it. We can now come to expect it as North looks to re-establish his own game plan. Deep breathing offline, the key lands. Matchup preference pretty neutral here, but the heavy breathing still online, but not for long as North catches a bell on the ledge, caught sleeping on the landing, and Kip steals an early stock.
Yeah, and we do see a fully charged neutral B on top of a deep breathing. That's why you run away, Chris, is because of how much knockback it has. And it closed out a stock incredibly early. Pac-Man is able to survive for a really long time, but if you are able to secure it off of pure knockback alone, it can be enough to really equalize that factor.
Yeah, now the spacing game comes back out for North. We resort back to the distance, and Pac-Man can play the distance, but I mean, the deep breathing is undeniably a factor. If you're able to let Wii Fit sit out there and charge, it will cause problems. But now, Kip,
it's a regrab, Chris.
Quite an opportunity. The down smash is sour. So, heavy breathing, deep breathing, excuse me, charges, excuse me, and it is online. Kip at 63%, and you have to feel like that's a little dangerous with deep breathing.
Yeah, but Kip is feeling the pressure to close out the stock. We do see the grab into the aerial, closing out a little bit more percentage, ending that combo. Both players sitting at an incredibly high percent, but Kip is still looking for the opportunity. Charges up the bell, throws it immediately. Wii Fit Trainer feeling no pressure, charges right into it, and finds a way around. As the key is thrown, both players trade and find their way back onto the stage.
Yeah, we get our Dragon Ball Z moment of the set here. Both players launched opposite directions, but it does seem like the Achilles heel of North so far has been the bell. He's not been super ready for it, and you have to think now that Kip is picking up on that, and the bell's still outright beating a fully charged neutral B, and see if he's able to land one of those stuns, but as that charge time gets longer and longer, and the hydrant does connect, the key destroying the hydrant, sending it up to the platform and catching North sleeping once again. Kip getting the job done and trading 1 for 1.
Yeah, and 1 for 1 is a beautiful spot against another player that Shenandoah was very worried about. A lot of pressure is off of these 2 players now, and the rest of the roster. Just understandably so, they're feeling, I imagine, really good, but I would argue there's another challenge up ahead. Pac-Man did cause problems. It can't be ignored. We weren't ready for it going into this series, but now we know it's there, and we know that it can mess things up a little bit, can throw a wrench into the game plan. I'm curious if they send them in now and try to go pack for pack again, or are we going to see the Samus player from last time?
Yeah, and that's the hard truth. As much as we've talked up North and Toad, the Pac-Man took the most stocks in set number 1. They took 5. No other player on William & Mary took that many. So there is absolutely a problem still on the horizon, and that's something that SU is going to have to be ready for. I do think that Kip is ready for it. I think Kip wants that rematch pretty badly because he did just look a little uncomfortable, maybe just thrown off by, and we all were. I mean, that was our first analysis after set 1 ended was, wow, we did not see that coming. And sure enough, now Kip, with knowledge in hand, gets the rematch. The Ditto is back on our screen. Kip with 1 less stock to work with, but we shake hands and charge our projectiles on the platforms.
Yeah, now blue on the side of William & Mary, black on the side of Shenandoah. And we will see Kip get a couple of good aerials to start things out. Galaga thrown out by J-Tron to get the damage rolling as both players are looking to get their game plans online.
Wow, the sound there, too, the perfectly synced up charge times. And it's worth mentioning that Kip got song choice as well. This is Kip's go-to on this stage, the Persona 4 music. So, advantage Kip on the neutral factors, if you will, but nonetheless, J-Tron loading in here against Kip. Percentages pretty even both ways, but Kip starting to pull away now, getting J-Tron up to 70%, but not for long as the Galagas come out. Galaga beating another Pac-Man projectile, added to the list of things we've seen Galaga just outright beat, and now the key comes out, well shielded, but Kip all over that one now, cresting that 100% mark is J-Tron.
Yeah, and I'm seeing J-Tron throw out a lot of good options, trying to get that combo game going, but does eat a very strong back air. The bell is online for Kip, and Kip plays it slow, but the up smash doesn't connect this time around. It was a good call out, and I do think that it could happen again, but for now, you do need to respect the fruit on both sides of the equation.
Yeah, there's a bell in J-Tron's pocket as well, I believe, so you're going to have to keep an eye out for that one. The key does not land again, and bell gets parried. Kip grabs the bell, so now J-Tron, limited options. What did we see earlier? But grabbing fruit is a heck of a strategy against Pac-Man. We see both players, again, opting to play the long game. Both keys go wide, and percentages continue to climb.
Yeah, Fire Hydrant is sent flying as J-Tron is losing the stock in return, and Shenandoah doing a good job of keeping that pressure rolling. Key thrown into Kip's face. Kip able to survive this time around, but is definitely in an awkward spot. Bell is regrabbed by J-Tron and will be able to dance around it. Kip doing a good job of playing it slow once again.
Yeah, we slow it down, and that is good news for Kip. If you're J-Tron, you're just trying to close this one out, but you have to think the longer Kip can hold on to this stock, the better for Shenandoah. So 160% great value so far. That bell gets cleared by the Hydrants, and now a bell in favor of Kip. Man, it's hard to keep track of these projectiles, but they are flying, and so far leaning Kip's way.
Yeah, there's a big thing that Kip used to push a lot, and it's that Pac-Man can't kill. I have seen otherwise a lot on this desk, but even so, I think we're starting to see why Kip believes that. Because he's holding on to his stock at essentially 170, and is doing a great job at doing it.
Yeah, both players go for the forward tilt there onto the Hydrant, and now Kip with an opportunity. The bell gets stopped by the platform, but I mean, you said it, now up to 175, does get caught in a down air, but got 73% onto J-Tron. I mean, so much extra credit. The bell gets shielded and placed right back in position, but a good get up from J-Tron avoids all trouble. So dash attack into the Hydrant. J-Tron looking to stall, bring the percentage back to an even value, but Kip really starting to settle in and looking a lot better than he did the first time.
Yeah, we do see an apple into the hands of Jtron. It won't connect this time around. Instead, Jtron will be sent back to the ledge. Kip, bell in hand, will find an opportunity for it to connect on the landing, but is caught in the hit stun and won't get the follow-up.
Yeah, this is getting really uncomfortable for Jtron, I have to say. I mean, up to now 130% and getting hit by hydrants like that, Kip has an opportunity to really even this out. And after starting with a full stock advantage, Jtron not much to show for it so far, as the apple lands. A little mix-up there from Kip, and the apple does finish the job. Jtron not going to the doctor enough. So we have an even stock count.
Yeah, and it was a apple that jumped over an orange. Both players traded fruit, but the apple with more knockback had so much more value, as Kip is doing a good job once again, trying to play it slow, has been averaging more percent than Jtron has, which means that Kip is looking to potentially even things out all the way, looking for that last stock and saying, enough of this, I am the pack who runs this league.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. It really is starting to get uncomfortable for Jtron. There's not much to point to that's been working. Kip does get caught in the bell there, now up to 130%, so it's gonna take a lot. But I mean, what did we see from the first stock? Kip was able to live for so long. Jtron really struggled to finish that stock, and now the bell does connect from the hydrant, and Kip's alive. 166%. Maybe Pac-Man does struggle to kill.
That's crazy stuff, Chris. I mean, an apple connects, and Jtron is looking for that final hit. Does find the grab, but fun fact, there's no kill grabs on this
not
pack,
at all.
which means that Kip will be able to charge a fruit off stage, get back to the ledge, and look for another opportunity to get Jtron feeling the pressure.
Yeah, this is a problem for Jtron. I mean, it only gets harder from here. I mean, there's not much Kip can do to really change the game at all, but the key connects on the ledge, and the bell comes out. He does catch Jtron on the side B, going above the ledge. The green fruit is out, but now Jtron over 100%, and Kip does know how to close those stocks. Wow, he does finally go down, but not after causing serious problems for Jtron. Jesus.
Yeah, I do think that Kip may have a point. That Pac-Man, both Pac-Mans were living to an incredibly high percent. Kip was finding opportunities to close them out a little earlier, which was good. But I see the argument, counter-argument, Kip averages a lot of stocks.
It's true, yeah. I mean, it really is hard to hear Kip ever say that Pac-Man can't take stocks when he's gotten over 40 in the last 10 calendar days. But yeah, after watching that one, maybe we do have to concede to the Pac gods. So now, all right, well, SU has a decision to make. One stock left on Jtron here, and presumably a Samus sitting in reserve. Excuse me. How do you approach this? The Jigglypuff didn't look phenomenal against Jtron. They were able to get one stock, and that is all that's in front of them. So do you put Farombus in here and keep Willy to clean up whatever's left?
I don't know. I feel like that makes sense. You take the one, and then you give Willy the information for which character goes in last and which character Willy wants for counterpick. Do I go Kazuya or do I go Terry? Which there could be little intricacies about the matchup and the knowledge needed going forward. At the same time, you could send Willy in now and try to close out the one stock, just cause problems, and try to keep Farombus in reserve. I like the idea of the first one more because you have that given knowledge. Farombus did take the one last time and can take the one this time around. The moment that series ended, every player was talking with all of the players came together talking about the next series, but a lot of it was, hey, here are some of the things that you're getting hit with in the matchup. Here's what you need to look out for. Let's get back into this, shake it off sort of deal. And then everyone in the back of the house trying to cheer them up as well. So I think momentum is in Shenandoah's favor. I'm curious to see what Farombus's adaptations look like, and it could be enough to swing the pendulum back into Shenandoah's favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning that I don't know, I don't think you can see all of it, but the audience has grown quite a bit because I believe Overwatch's series is over. I'm not sure what the score was. If I can get a report from production, we'll let you know as soon as I know. But a lot of the Overwatch crowd has come to support the Smash Bros. Team now in their NECC playoffs. And again, it's something that's kind of been lost, at least on me so far, is that this is SU's season so far, or at least up to this point, right? If they are to lose this set, that's it for this NECC bracket, and that's something that hasn't even hit me yet because SU has a lot of momentum right now. There's a lot of reason to think that they will not go down just yet, but they got to go out and finish the job. Meanwhile, I do want to give you an update. I did just get the word from production that Overwatch did go down 1-3, so unfortunate start to playoffs for them as they bow out early, but back to the Smash Bros. At hand. The song choice has not changed, still favoring SU, I have to assume, as we get more Persona 4 music in our ears.
Already out the gate, yes, Farambus will eat this forward air train, but he did forward air the Galaga, and that's a very big difference from last time, is that a lot of Galaga combos were just happening by nature of Pac-Man throwing it out. Now Farambus playing a bit more aggressive, trying to beat it out and looking for that combo game. It hasn't worked out this time around. The bell is online, and Farambus playing it slow, saying, I do not want to deal with that bell. If I'm going to approach, it's going to be while you don't have it charged.
Yeah, and playing the platforms as well, playing the vertical game that we saw that he couldn't really get going on Final Bastion. So now, finally, we do see some percentage come out, and Farambus with a lot of room to work with. I mean, the percentage certainly favoring J-Tron so far, but Farambus with 3 whole stocks to use as leverage. So it's going to take just a little bit, and smart play there by Farambus to get away from the grab after Pac-Man destroys his own hydrant.
Yeah, and there's that bell thrown out. There's one throw of it gone. The other one thrown into the hydrant, sent flying to the moon as Farambus is willing to play it a little bit slower. J-Tron thrown off stage and eating a little bit of pressure. Farambus doing a good job of, again, holding on to the stock. Maybe there might be a point here, Chris. A couple of back airs connecting, more fruit connecting. Jigglypuff's living at 150.
Yeah, I mean, this is not something we saw the first time around. Farambus doing a good job of holding on to this stock. Again, no real kill threat on a grab from Pac-Man other than maybe a back throw, but certainly not from that point on stage. So 173%, the hydrant goes off, and the neutral air lands, excuse me.
Oh, no!
Oh, wow, Farambus gets caught on the trampoline, but that's all right. We've got stocks to work with, and Farambus looking much better than the first time we saw this matchup. Certainly uncomfortable for Jigglypuff, but Farambus getting it done so far, and now Pac-Man up to 64%.
Yeah, we do see Farambus doing a good job of kind of dancing around this game plan, offering a lot more percentage on each stock than last time, and it's really starting to add up as the call-out on the air dodge works in Farambus' favor.
Wow, what a call-out. Able to finish that one and only loses 1. I mean, that's a stark contrast. And again, heck of a call-out to get it done and sort of get that stock a lot earlier than it would have taken otherwise. But wow, I mean, a massive switch-up. If you told me after set number 1 that they would trade 1-for-1, that's huge. Look at Captain Igloo there. They are hyping him up. That is huge for Shenandoah to claw back. You see Willie standing in the back, too, the one player remaining for SU. Ooh, there's a lot of energy in this room right now.
Yeah, a lot of people want this win for Shenandoah. They want to continue the run for NECC, whether you're on the Smash team or not, and that is beautiful. I love this community, Chris. But on top of that, we are also at a point now where there's one player remaining. It's Samus, presumably. There could be the Sephiroth in the background. There could be the Terry if it's one of those players swapping around. But I do think that in terms of those matchups, like, they're hard for Jigglypuff, but the Jigglypuff answer right now was get the Pac-Man out of the way. Like, that was what is needed right now, right? So going forward, whatever Farambus can get is even more value. Players on Shenandoah got a lot of stocks. Kip did a good job of really bringing it forward. Igloo, same deal, got 4. So at this point, you can just try and close out the little intricacies. Try to complete that bridge in the spots that matter most, and then add the flourish to end it all.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's soften the load from here on out for Willie, right? If you can get it done, great. That makes the load as easy as possible for Willie if he doesn't even have to play. But this is a crew battle. This is not a straight-up 1v1, and Farambis has a player behind him that he just needs to make the job easy.
Yeah, and we do see the matchups, Samus versus Jigglypuff. And frankly, between all of the characters that Jigs could go up against going forward, I actually think I like this one the most. And it's because of how the projectile game needs to be played. Samus has a great up air and a really good up B. But even so, I do think that Jigs may be able to dance around this game plan as we see a couple of down airs thrown out.
Yeah, the up Bs coming out of the shield. We know that Samus does get very comfortable with those options. Now Farambis goes deep off stage to try to punish that one, maybe steal a stock, and that's really all you need to work with or look for, I guess. ReviX makes their way back onto stage and evens the percentage up a little bit. Now 50% both ways. Farambis able to roll beyond the charge shot, so Samus with no neutral B to work with until now, as Farambis just controlling the airspace, doesn't get hit by that one.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, Chris. Look at how Farambis is sitting on the platform. Samus has a great horizontal projectile game. Farambis is willing to play it a little slow. Sit on the platform and let Samus throw out these projectiles in exchange for a potential follow-up afterwards. That is crazy important to your survivability in this matchup.
Yeah, and we're seeing smaller charge shots come out as well to try to play the stun off the charge shot. But that one does confirm another great down B from ReviX to confirm off the ledge. Now the percentage racks up. So another up B out of the shield. Farambis starting to rack up some damage of his own so far, but return back to a neutral state. ReviX sitting at 57%, and now this game has really fallen in ReviX's favor.
Yeah, oh, the jump back,
wow.
trying to dance around the bomb, but does eat the neutral special instead. It was a good call, trying to get around that projectile because of how they lost the stock the first time around. But it doesn't work out in this situation because of the way that Jigglypuff uses that double jump. The neutral special connects, and that means it is 3 stocks to 3 stocks going into the final round.
Yeah, tough break for Farambis as he ultimately made the job a bit easier for ReviX on that last stock, drifting toward the blast zone and eating that charge shot. So unfortunate situation there for Farambis, but again, the task was the Pac-Man, and that task was taken care of. So we sit with a head-to-head 3-stock on 3-stock once again, but now SU season on the line.
Yeah, and we do see the character confirmation of who Willie has picked for this matchup, and it is Scary Demon Man Kazuya Mishima entering the field, which interests me. I feel like Kazuya's approach is very horizontal. Like, you don't, if you're going to go above, that means you're burning your double jump, and Kazuya's double jump is very important. In this sort of situation, though, it might work out if Willie has a solid game plan going into the game.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, and I feel like we have seen Willie be able to start a lot of these combos from falling aerials as well. Like, if he does need to use the double jump, you're right. It is very valuable. You'd certainly like to avoid that, but Willie does know how to play around it, I assume, if he needs to. Another thing to keep in mind is, 1, the amount of invincibility that Kazuya has, and 2, that there is a reflector in play. Is it a great reflector?
I mean, okay, let's define great here for a second. Does it deal a lot of damage?
Yes.
Yes. Does it come out fast?
No.
No. It's an input, which means that Willie will need to be very deliberate about it. So
and it's committal, too.
It is committal.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready for that.
Yeah, and it's disastrous if it doesn't work out. But undeniably, there's a reflector in play, right? Whether it's used or not, that's something that ReviX now needs to look out for, and certainly something that Willie has shown that he's not afraid to use when he feels confident in it, and I'm sure he is as confident as he can be right now.
I am very curious. Because of how Kazuya crouch dash works, he's invincible from, I believe, the waist up when he's dashing.
I was thinking this.
And I'm wondering if the missiles hit in just the right spot. Because there's one missile that kind of tapers down.
Correct.
But the other one, I'm curious if Willie will just dash through it as Reviex is looking to stall on the platform, but goes down on the ground. Immediately eats a grab and a couple of electrics as Willie gets the combo game going into the back air and closes out the spots. It's not even 15 seconds, Chris.
Okay, pressure is on Reviex. That is not at all how you saw this starting, and he gets grabbed at 0 again. He does land on the platform, and it will be able to bail him out for now, but Willie in full control right now, finding electric after electric. He finds the spike, can't find the second one. Reviex is able to make it back on stage, but not before taking well over 100% and gets electric again. The up he can't confirm, but Reviex in dangerous territory of losing this second stock already.
Thunderbolts and lightning, Chris. It is very, very frightening as Willie is getting all of the percentage, racking up so quickly, and now we are starting to see the game plan start to slow down. It took Reviex to really take the time and get away from this Mishima, but for now, a quick 1-2-3 jab is online, and the kill button, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, this is 40% sitting in Kazuya's pocket. Even if it's not a kill, the down Bs do confirm it, but not into a charge shot this time. The first time we see one of those mines really land outside of a kill confirm. Now, Kazuya dangerously close to losing this kill button. The reflector does come out, but he will lose the rage art. I think he's fine with that one. Oh, does recover a little bit high and gets caught by the down B. So finally, Reviex finds their one, but not before disastrous on the first two stocks.
Yeah, and we do see Willie finding a way onto the platform. Does get a good electric to connect, but Reviex is definitely finding opportunities to keep Willie on his toes. A bomb connects, Willie goes back onto the ledge, has to find a way past this charge shot, instead will get hit by it, but Samus burns the double jump, has to go back to the ledge, does roll into the hands of Willie. Willie looking for the kill button, but it won't connect this time around as the dash attack connects and gets caught shielded. Kill button online, booyah!
Wow, I mean, Willie able to stand up and get a big stretch off that one because that was clinical, that was surgical. Willie goes in and takes two stocks almost instantly and is able to just clean out the last one with a great read. What's that called? The stun thing.
I think it's Demon Fist.
Yeah, on the platform, and the kill button just sitting in wait. The critical art able to finish the stock off the platform as well, not the stage itself, because Samus was only at about 100% after the kill button, which says a lot about what Kazuya can do as a character. Say what you will, Willie did pay extra for that character, but absolutely putting on a show in that last matchup, and SU ties this series.
It was beautiful, and I loved the way that it ended. Truly, that move, Rage Drive. One frame, face in platform, next frame in top blast zone.
Yeah.
Like, the knockback is crazy. And so to find an opportunity where Samus was looking for a perfect parry, like that was very deliberate. A very quick tap of the shield, wasn't holding it for long enough. Suddenly, you are stunned, you are sitting there, and there's a scary demon ready to grab you, throw you up to the heavens, and then slam you back down.
Yeah, and I can't think of the term for that state where you're like falling to the ground. It's like crumpled or something.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah, like crumble or crumple,
Yeah,
I think.
I don't remember, but yeah, that is where Kazuya thrives. If you get caught, it's such a helpless feeling of watching your character sit and fall to their knees as Kazuya can do whatever they want for a good full second. And sure enough, that time again, he had the kill button lying in wait and is able to find full value from it. Wow, I mean, what a showing. So now, all right, we have to move on from that eventually. So as we move into set number 3 here, something's got to change for William and Mary, because where the character swap at the start sounded like it worked out on paper, it ultimately did not fall their way.
Right. The first time around, keep in mind, best of 3. So we're going into series number 3, and we know that William and Mary likes to start either the Falco or the Wii Fit Trainer. I wouldn't expect them to forsake that, but I do think that there's a lot of value in trying to keep the Wii Fit or send in the Wii Fit Trainer early and then use the Falco game plan after.
Well, there's a lot to speculate about, and we'll be ready for it on the other side of this, but we are going to take a quick breather, and we encourage you to do so as well. Get some water, get some snacks, because we'll be back very soon with set number 3 of this NECC semifinals.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
Over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway.
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
Cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
We're here, and if you were keeping an eye on the timer, don't. We're getting ready to load in here pretty soon here into our first matchup of set number 3. We've got Shenandoah University taking on William and Mary in round number 2 of the NECC Eastern Playoffs, and a lot at stake here. A ticket to grand finals on the line, and our first matchup is on our screen, and it's a big change-up from William and Mary.
A very smart decision to try and keep these Falco and Wii Fit Trainer, who we have acknowledged are going to be very important players going forward. Instead, sending in a character we haven't seen yet today. The Terry Bogard is going in against this Dino, and so far it's looking like a great matchup for Galice.
Yeah, and not only is this a character that we haven't seen today, it is a player that we haven't seen today, which means that one of the players we have seen today will not be making a showing in set 3 here. So we'll keep an eye on that once we get there, but Igloo going for it all there, forced to air dodge back to the ledge, a little uncomfortable, but certainly can't roll past the Terry in that situation as he will turn around. Igloo gets away with one there as he's able to get back on stage and now start racking up percentage. Terry goes a little low, cuts it close, but is able to make it back and they return back to center stage.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about the game plan before we were back onto the desk. Igloo acknowledged that this matchup can be a little tricky on the stage, but if they find an opportunity to get this Terry off stage at a good spot, it could spell disaster. This drag down works out this time around, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple throws off stage to keep things rolling.
Yeah, Terry gets up over 100%, but not for long. We don't get to see the value pay off. Glies looking for probably a little bit more there, but bit of an uncomfortable start as Igloo starts to take control. Back air lands and is able to rack up percentage. The drag down is dangerous. You see that spot dodge move really doing damage to Igloo's shield, but not popping just yet. That could be something to keep an eye on as Igloo does keep using it, but that shield is getting awfully unhealthy.
Glies is playing a little bit too scared with those power dunks.
Look at that.
Look at that. The way that they're using the power dunks, it's relatively safe on landing, but they're still going for the spot dodge after, which at least leaving them in more delay. They do find the back air, catching Igloo going from one platform to another, but at what cost, Chris? A solid amount of percentage build onto this Terry and potential disaster as a forward air connects.
Wow, did you see that forward air hit?
Scary dino.
Well beyond the expected one, but the egg lands in a gorgeous spike, well placed by Igloo to take another one, and now Glies in a very, very dangerous spot here of potentially losing this last stock without getting another. Is able to rack up percentage finally on this second stock from Igloo. Maybe keep this a bit of a close matchup, but so far Igloo looking extremely comfortable and completely settled in here as he's able to spot dodge the second power dunk hitbox and find a lot of damage. Goes for the forward smash, can't connect, but Burn knuckle, there you go. Cannot connect.
And look at the way that Igloo is playing this. Terry is a very scary character when in your face, but instead Igloo is dancing in just outside this Terry's range. I mean, look at that forward air on the shield. It's just barely spaced out enough to just cause problems. Couple more eggs thrown out. Terry having to air dodge back up, but won't end up eating anything much more than a couple of eggs, and Igloo going back onto the platforms to try and survive.
Yeah, I'm really loving this style of gameplay from Igloo. This feels like a type of Yoshi that we really haven't seen much of. The recovery options have been very interesting, but a tough miss from Igloo going for the ledge and just barely misses. So does lose his second stock, but Glies in a very uncomfortable spot now, up to 130% against this Yoshi that has been absolutely moving.
And I won't say that this match is over, Chris. Terry does have go and is already looking for the Buster Wolves.
Yeah, those are huge hitboxes, and as Igloo does start to climb in the percentage game up to now 60%, that is a little scary. And keep in mind, we haven't seen a power geyser yet. That's a scary place to be, especially with how vertical that hitbox is and how much Igloo has been playing above Terry. Now Igloo really struggling to finish this stock off the percentage game.
Phantom footstool, that's crazy. Close. I've never seen a Phantom footstool work out that well, Chris. That is a very dangerous spot to be in, but it does get Igloo out of that situation, holding onto the stock for a bit longer. As now, look at how Igloo is playing this, as slow as needed, as a power geyser's thrown out, but Igloo's back on the main stage, holding down shield, and will be able to punish with the up smash.
Stone cold, no panic at all from Captain Igloo under those circumstances. That did get close. Let's not lie to ourselves. That got uncomfortable there towards the end after Igloo was really starting to click for most of that matchup, but does walk out taking care of business and only losing 2 of his own. Now, here's the thing. Where we've seen the value, I think, of this series pay off, it's been that these 2 major headliners for William and Mary have been sort of knocked out early. North and Toad have not been able to get much playtime because they are out of the picture early on. And now that Terry has gone and taken 2 stocks off the biggest threat to both of those players, William & Mary is in a situation that I'm sure was the plan from the get-go.
Well, on top of all of that, Chris, the 4 players that were playing for William & Mary in these first 2 series were causing problems across the board, all 4. So one of them is gone.
Yeah.
One of them is not going to be able to play going forward. I'm assuming Falco and WeFit are going to play. I think that's a safe bet. But that means that either Samus or Pac-Man is gone. Pac-Man took 5 in the first series. That's a crazy factor to try and remove out of this, but Samus also just causes problems in and of the character.
Yeah, the Samus was able to knock out Farambus pretty much entirely, which is certainly something that is alarming, and if you are to get rid of that, that's a problem. But Igloo now, oh man, has to deal with, has an opportunity to go get more extra credit. We've been saying it this whole series long, and we haven't seen these one-stock cleanup situations get out of hand yet, but this is where Shenandoah has thrived. This is what this team was built on for the longest time.
So now, Igloo, 1 stock in hand, the kind of player who can go in and go 1 for 1. That is exactly the kind of thing that you expect going forward. Who is sent in to get that extra little bit of value for Shenandoah?
Okay, I just thought of something. Who is the nightmare matchup for Igloo? It's Samus. If you put Samus in now,
then Pac is gone.
Rule out Pac-Man. That's a problem for William & Mary.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that Igloo feels fine against the Wii Fit, the Falco, and probably Pac-Man, given the Kip experience. So do you put Samus in to give him the one matchup he doesn't want at the cost of sacrificing, in my opinion, one of your better players? Ooh, I don't know.
No, that's a tough ask, Chris. You bring up a really good point, because you're talking value that you have seen in this crew battle versus matchup knowledge. And those are 2 very important factors to keep in mind. They bring so much to the table. It's a matter of what you place more value in. Do you place value in what you have seen, or do you place value in what you have heard? And that is on William & Mary.
Oh man, a big decision for William & Mary, and it looks like we are loading into our next matchup, and it will be Pac-Man coming out for William & Mary. A massive decision from the boys over at William & Mary, but oh man, I mean, maybe one that could pay off. We will see, but another massive mix-up in that they are keeping North and Toad for the back end.
Yeah, and on top of that, I wouldn't be surprised if they came to this decision off of Igloo being at 1 stock. It's going to be on Igloo to find at 1 stock of his own to really keep this pressure going. Otherwise, it could just play into the factor that, yeah, we didn't need the Samus. Let's bring in this Pac-Man player that's caused problems. It's a big gambit, but the kind of gambit that keeps you in the series.
Yeah, we'll see if it does, as J-Tron does load into the series here. We are back on Final Bastion, excuse me. Igloo starting to settle in here, only 1 stock to work with, and again, I mean, we talk about this a lot as if this is a massive matchup for Igloo. This is extra credit at this point. He did take out his 1. The Terry is behind us, but you certainly would like to think that Igloo is dangerous enough to really get some work going for SU here. So now he does take Pac-Man off stage, forced to recover, but you know that Pac-Man can make it back from anywhere. If there's anybody that should know that, it's all of you that are watching and have been watching us all season long.
Yeah, now we're starting to see the problems of this matchup. It's hard for Igloo to find a way in. Bells connect, fruit is thrown, but the double jump armor is going to allow for a small reversal, and J-Tron going back to the ledge. Water pushes for the forward air. That was beautiful call out, and the matchup knowledge needed to keep momentum in Shenandoah's favor.
That's nasty out of Igloo. The fire hydrant working against J-Tron, and Igloo all over that one. Does take a stock off William & Mary's second player. He is now up to 136%, so it would take a lot to take another one. Now up to 170. The key lands, and we know how dangerous that apple can be, but with Igloo's hands on it, Jatron may struggle to get much credit here.
Yeah, playing with the eggs,
Look at this.
not looking for anything too crazy. Instead, saying, you cannot KO me unless you have this fruit. Jatron finds the grab, which means the fruit is dropped. This is very important to keep in mind as Igloo's sitting 200%. Does dash around the fire hydrant. Pac-Man looking for the back airs. Does find another hydrant. And Igloo's still holding on. Chris, I think there's a point to be made.
I was just saying, maybe Kip was right. I don't know. I don't have anything to say. I'm stunned. But Igloo, I mean, clinging to this stock, clinging to life, not finding much offense in this second stock yet, still living 228.4%. Only finding 30%, still kind of struggling to find much on the other side. But boy, as long as you can keep this stock in hand, I mean, it's alarming.
Okay.
Tilt does connect and finish the job. Igloo will bow out, but mother of God. That's a problem.
That dino lived 228%, Chris. That's a long time to hold on to a stock. That's insane to hold on to a stock for that long. I play heavies, Chris, and that's all insane. Oh.
No, absolutely. And okay, so here's a trend that I like to see out of SU. The first time around, although Igloo did a great job in his first matchup against North, he walked away with only 2 stocks. And as simple as we can make this, you said it, both teams have 12 stocks, and somebody's got to walk away with 12 in hand. So, no matter who they're against, I think the more that Igloo is taking, the better, especially for the back end of the roster, right? It makes the job easier for Willie, Kip, and Farrambus, taking a lot of pressure off them to perform at a high level. Now, granted, again, we can dive into the weeds and say that the problem children on William & Mary, the people that have been causing the most issues, are still back there. But to simplify it as much as I can, the fact that Igloo is taking 4 stocks, I think is a big deal, and it's what we saw work out for SU in set number 2.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely critical that we see Igloo take the 4 despite the change-up of the starter. It brings home the point that Igloo was confident that starting things off as this Yoshi knocks out 2, now 3 potential matchups to start Shenandoah momentum. Shenandoah momentum is a very real thing. It is something that just hits like a wave and swells like crazy. Now, it's going to be on Shenandoah's other players. Any of them can take the next spot in. It is a Pac-Man in play. I wouldn't expect Farrambus to go in this time around, but that does mean that we could see potentially either Kip or we could see the Willie, either Terry or Kazuya.
Yeah, and another thing worth mentioning, we've seen the Pac-Man Ditto twice now. Both of them under different circumstances, but also played out very differently. And the more recent one in the last set looked very Kip favored. But Kip, with a stock disadvantage going into that, was not able to take all 3 stocks, but still traded 2 for 2 in the Pac-Man Ditto. Now, with a stock advantage, for the first time this series, I like putting Kip in the Pac-Man Ditto. I really think he was frazzled the first time, was ready for it the second time, and will be more than ready for it the third time, and we saw the results of that.
Yeah, and as much as we saw the results of that, there is something that scares me about a Ditto. Now, it could just be me. It could be my own paranoia, but I have experienced the craziness of Dittos, and sometimes you're just not ready for things. And it's extremely mentally taxing. It shouldn't be, but it is. To lose a stock against the character that you are playing is so hard on your mental. It is. So you need to understand that you're going into the series. It's not a matter of this person is playing my character and I'm here to prove that I'm the better player. No, you're playing for the crew battle. that is what is important to keep in mind going forward.
It is a team game, and that's going to be a hard thing to keep in front of you. It's going to be a hard thing to stay grounded in that type of mentality, but it's something that undeniably will creep in from time to time, and we know that Kip, as much of a momentum-based player as he is, can get thrown off by things like that and struggle to claw out of negative situations. So, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but I do like the fact that Kip would have a stock advantage in this head-to-head.
Yeah, and it, again, kind of speaks to the idea of keeping that momentum forward, of really bringing home that idea of don't mess with the pack in any sort of situation. And then if Kip does walk away with a stock lead, you're taking stocks off of either Wii Fit or Falco. And I imagine they're bringing in the Falco early, which means you have a preferred matchup, I assume, for Willie. Like, the rest of the crew battle plays out pretty linear. If Kip wins, then it's Falco goes in, Falco loses stock, Willie goes in, Falco loses, Wii Fit trainer, Farambus, Jigs. Like, that's how it goes.
No, you're right. And I admittedly did not even think about the Falco in reserve. After, like, if you do put Kip in, that's been the game plan, is that Kip does not go in until we see the Falco. So now that Falco is in hiding, we see a massive mix-up here for Shenandoah. Is that Farambus? It is, on the NES, opting out of the Jigglypuff pick on a character that I have not seen him play before.
Yeah, I have not seen how Farambus looks on this NES before myself, but I'm very curious to see how it plays out, because it does feel like it's been difficult for Farambus to get a game plan online on that Jigglypuff. So maybe the answer truly is instead a character swap, and truth be told, I'm ready to see this NES really make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in set 1. I don't love Jigglypuff into any of those characters. I mean, it's so hard to really get much going against a Pac-Man, a Samus, a Wii Fit, or a Falco, but here we go. I mean, we have the answer, and it is a character swap. So far, Farambus still kind of struggling to find percentage. Does find the side B, and if nothing else, is percentage. Like we said, the bell comes out, does get hydranted away, but so does Farambus. He will lose that first stock and continue to look for any credit onto J-Tron here.
Yeah, we do see about 40% build onto J-Tron. The Galaga is grabbed, thrown back into the face of Pac-Man, and the percentage is building up because of it. Farambus finding a couple of good opportunities to keep things going, using the PK Fire, but the Galaga beating it out, which means that going forward, you may have to play a little bit more of the vertical game rather than the horizontal.
Yeah, we're seeing the percentage rack up in favor of Farambus. I mean, like, he did find a couple hits in there. Now is starting to get hit by these projectiles and finds his way back onto the stage, and we result back to the PK Fire game. But I mean, I think I would like to see Farambus put a little more PK Fires into play and match this ranged game. J-Tron is sitting relatively comfortably on stage, and Farambus can't make it back from all the way back there. A tough break, as now Farambus now with one stock left, just looking to find his one.
Yeah, we do see Farambus able to shield out the dash attack, looking for the next couple of hits, but instead is looking for the Pac-Man approach right now. A lot more aerials thrown out to try and deal with the game plan Pac-Man's going for. Instead, eats a very strong Hydrant combo, will take about 70%, has to recover back onto the stage, will find an opportunity to do so, but won't find a follow-up onto J-Tron. Instead, J-Tron controlling the momentum of this matchup.
Yeah, it does find the back throw there. That is a kill throw, but not yet. Pac-Man now up to 86%, and still a lot of forward airs coming out for Farambus, just looking to find any percentage. The dash attack will not finish the Hydrant off, and Pac-Man's dash attack will. They'll re-grab, and Ness, with no jump, does get caught with a stun, but Pac-Man goes for the grab, is unable to punish. The fruit connects, gets a kill spark, but 140%. J-Tron finds the down air and is able to knock Farambus out. The Ness can't get it done, and Farambus bows out. Shenandoah now down 2 stocks.
It was a tough ask. I do believe that Farambus needed to go in here to make a potential startup, but it's difficult. It's a hard matchup either way, and I do think that the Ness potentially trying to shake things up, potentially knock the wind out of William and Mary's sails could work out. It just wasn't there yet.
Yeah, so now SU running out of options, and this is tough because what did we say? We don't like putting Pac-Man in until Falco is at least in the line of sight, but right now it's not, and SU only has 2 options in Willie and Kip. Do you make the decision to put Kip up now and save Willie for last? I don't know.
I think you do. I think the answer is, believe it or not, to go back to the stock standard. While Kip isn't starting, I do think that Willie finishing is the move because of the way, by nature of the characters that Willie plays. They're fast, they hit hard, and they have great reversal potential. You can lose your stocks pretty quickly, and Willie is very aware of ways to just run away with games. So for now, I think you send in Kip, whose game plan is very solid, very well-rounded, and is able to just take as much value as possible and then put the rest onto Willie and say, Godspeed, soldier.
Yep, good luck. And we'll see now both players on SU will be required to average 4 stocks. 8 stocks left for William and Mary, 3 different characters, and you're right, we will get it looks like we maybe forgot that we were going to SD. It happens, that's all right. So we will reload that lobby.
I can't tell if they, I know they hit each other, but I also think that one Pac-Man thought they were the other Pac-Man.
You might be right, actually. Wow.
They really need to make different colored skins instead of just the... I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, love the IP, copyright law, all that, respect the character. But, man, you really got to change the colors.
I think you're so right. I totally think that's what happened, and that is hilarious. But, all right, well, fair enough. We'll remake the lobby. Not a problem at all. That happens. So, shake that one off. Yeah, well, we are going to get the Pac-Man Ditto. And you said it. There's something a little intimidating about a Ditto, right? It's not only a mental game, but it's also... it feels like a toss-up, right? It's hard to say that any one player knows the Ditto matchup better than the other, but I don't know. The most recent meeting between these 2 players certainly looked pretty Kip favored, but ultimately still trading 2 stocks. So J-Tron now with an opportunity to really start running away with this. William and Mary pulling ahead, both of these teams, season on the line. A lot of pressure on your screen right now.
Yeah, I love high-pressure situations and hearing Animal Crossing music in the background.
Right?
Anyway, we do see both players starting to get their game plans online, right? A lot of fruit, dancing around a hydrant. Doesn't matter who's hydrant as long as there's one in play. As Kip goes for the Galaga, gets J-Tron double jumping, catches the landing, and gets a solid amount of damage in return.
Yep, double hydrant out once again, and the second hydrant able to push the key back. An interesting interaction there as we continue to tally up things we've never seen on this desk, but Kip jumping out to a percentage lead so far, sending the hydrant out along with the key, grabs J-Tron's Galaga. So now the projectile game is certainly limited for J-Tron until Kip decides to make a move. Does find the grab into the hydrant, racks up more percentage.
Wow,
able to
that's
find the
brutal.
stun, but can't find the kill.
I mean, we just saw a setup with Galaga into Bell. That doesn't happen because it takes time to charge Bell.
Yeah.
But because Kip was able to use J-Tron's Galaga, we saw an insane amount of damage buildup in return.
Yeah, both players are looking to throw out their fruits. They both get hit, but one of them hits a lot harder because it's made of metal. That was a fire hydrant hitting J-Tron way downtown and does take care of that first stock. So now Kip with an opportunity. If he can take this stock, I know it would be hard without losing his, but to even the stock count here could be huge for Shenandoah.
Yeah, a couple of nairs already building percentage onto J-Tron, and Kip sitting at 96. A reoccurring theme of tonight, Chris. Pac-Man may be able to hold on to the stock for a pretty long time, which means that we could see Kip walk away with more than just the 2-for-2 trade we were expecting. We may see a potential 3 stock.
Yeah, Kip going up high and threatening a big percentage buildup, but now a couple major hits going J-Tron's way, and the Bell is in play, the Hydrant no longer. So J-Tron hanging on to his stock and struggling to put this away. I mean, you're right. I think the lesson of the day is that maybe Pac-Man does struggle to close stocks, but Kip now up to 151%. No Hydrants left. Projectile game in neutral, but Kip going in, getting aggressive, feeling the pressure of the moment undeniably, but looking pretty good under that pressure.
Yeah. Kip, in a lot of these situations, I've noticed, is the one
he grabbed the
holding
bell.
into the key. Instead, finds the opponent's wow! The roll behind. He gets it. Pressure of a Pac-Man hitter. What am I saying, Chris?
Okay, I mean, what did I said probably feeling the pressure of the moment, and what does he do with the pressure of the season on his shoulders? He goes up and grabs the other Pac-Man's bell and uses it to kill him. Mother of God!
It's beautiful to see adaptations at that level, to call out your opponent, who, again, Kip in that situation, charges to the key, the other Pac-Man charges to the bell. Kip throws the key right away, other Pac-Man runs up, throws the bell, and it gets caught. And obviously, you know, Bell doesn't do well into shield, goes for it. That Pac-Man player was very grab heavy, understandably so. But something Kip has learned over the years is that Pac-Man grab leaves you open for a while,
absolutely.
able to roll behind it, bell in hand, closes the stock.
Wow. I mean, that was incredible. And for so many reasons, too. Because not only do we have a statistical even game, that 150-something% that Kip was at that J-Tron could not close out. Again, this is becoming an uncomfortable meme of the day that Pac-Man can't close out stocks. Now, all that work, all that effort is now gone, and Kip has a fresh 3 stocks and all the momentum in the world as well.
Which brings up the point. It is assumed that the last 2 players are Falco and Wii Fit Train.
Yes.
And if you're in this situation, you expect, I expect, the Falco play. When we saw Kip go into the Wii Fit Trainer, it worked pretty well in Kip's favor. So the answer this time around, you would expect the Falco. This is your chance to try and really shake things up. A matchup that has been tried or has been dodged throughout this evening is now going to play out in front of us. But at the same time, the stock count now being so even, it is possible for Kip to take even more because he didn't lose 1
exactly
in that matchup.
And another thing to keep in mind, Toad has been contained so far. We've seen this player twice through 2 sets, and in both times, he only walked away with 2 stocks. He has not been able to win an outright matchup yet, and that's a problem. That's a problem for one of the bigger problems on William and Mary's roster. So, I don't know, man. A big opportunity for Kip here to build an advantage for SU, but a lot of pressure on Toad as well to just go in and get the job done. You have to think that this matchup would feel great for Toad, but we have yet to see Toad really get a rhythm today.
Yeah, and as we hop on to Small Battlefield with the Persona 4 music included, I am happy to see that starting things off, Kip is playing very aggressive, not letting Toad do any sort of reflector shenanigans unless situations like that, and even then, Toad is caught kind of in an awkward spot and is eating a lot of percent because of it.
Yeah, only 1 reflector really landing so far, and Kip not looking very thrown off by it. I mean, sort of settling into his usual game plan, a bit more bruiser game plan so far, but the projectiles, or the reflector has not stopped Kip from establishing this distance, right? Controlling the space. The reflector will work on that hydrant as well, but the bell goes right back up, so not as much threat there. The percentages starting to regress back toward each other as Kip's advantage starts to disappear, but not if Kip has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Toad is doing a really good job of really utilizing the reflector as much as possible. We acknowledge this up until this point. That is going to be the rough part about this matchup, is that one of Pac-Man's better options to close out stocks is not available for a majority of this matchup. But Kip is doing a good job of playing around that. Yes, Pac-Man's grapple game may not be good, but we've seen a handful of grabs connect, and they've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, look at the reflectors too. I mean, the game plan is as clear as day. The bell does get reflected, but Toad unable to capitalize. Goes for the spike, can't quite find the 2-frame window he needs. So, the Nair. Oh man, that angle, that is exactly what we're talking about. That disgusting reflector can send back projectiles at whatever angle they're coming in from, and that includes the bell, the apple, all of these strange angles that we're not used to. Can go right back to Kip's face.
Yeah, here comes the Falco combo, getting a solid amount of percent. 50 is the answer for Kip. Now having to find a way to close out the stock, is throwing out a lot of back airs to do it, but is also finding good grab opportunities. The back air or back throw will be able to close out that stock and keep things even for now.
Yeah, and all Kip needs is one little window like that. Because those combos, sure, they are, we call them Galaga combos, but he just needs to find that first hitbox, and then bang, it's 60% damage in favor of Kip. The rest of it is not reflectable. So, as bleak as we make this sound for Pac-Man, it does just take small windows like that, and Kip stealing a second stock now, Toad on the back foot.
Yeah, I think Toad is getting a little too reflector happy. He's throwing a lot of it. And yes, it's a good option in this matchup, but it can cause problems. It's not exactly the safest move, especially when Pac-Man's above you.
Yeah, now we are still seeing the value of these Falco combos. Does not get the tech there. He will be spiked right back down, and Toad evens the game out once again. But I mean, this is still huge for SU. The fact that Kip is looking this good against this nightmare matchup that we've been trying to avoid all night long is a huge deal. And now, percentages heavily favoring Kip. He does get another grab to make it a down throw. Another reflector comes out, finds nothing. Oh man, Kip going for it all there on a miscalculation from Toad, but it won't quite be there. He does go for a grab, but bailed out by the hydrant on that one.
Yeah, the water coming in clutch, keeping Kip out of any sort of crazy shenanigans. Does eat a bell reflect, and Falco going all the way off, but it's reversal by the down smash. That was the matchup, Chris, and it is done.
Look at it! That's a down smash. I mean, that's all it takes. Toad once again contained, absolutely prevented. Kip stepping up to the moment. We know that SU was going to need to get uncomfortable tonight, especially in set number 3, down 2 stocks, 8-6. It was going to take dire situations, but Kip stepping up to the moment and taking 5 stocks straight and still in the game.
Yeah, 1 stock in hand, going into the Wii Fit Trainer, a matchup that we saw work out relatively well. It was back and forth both sides, which means that Kip may be able to find even more value going forward. That's crazy.
That is crazy. And now all the pressure in the world on North, the Wii Fit Trainer for William and Mary. And as much as as loud as we just got, as big of a moment as that was, this is far from over. This is an incredible player that we have not been able to see live up to their potential yet by nature of their placement in the crew battle order. Well, now they do have an opportunity to step up and meet the moment just like Kip did. So, oh man, they will have to get through 1 Pac-Man stock, a red-hot Pac-Man stock, mind you, and 3 Willy stocks on either Kazuya or Terry, and you have to think, I have to think, that it would be Kazuya in this type of situation.
It very well could be. I do believe that when we saw William and Mary the last time around online, Willy went into this Wii Fit Trainer on Kazuya, and it did not end well. I could be misremembering because that was over a year ago from what I understand. But even so, I do think that going into this matchup, the biggest factor, the thing that you need to play around, in the same way that Kip was able to take advantage of the reflector habits. Now, this one, you need to deal with deep breathing. The answer to that, we saw it when Igloo played. Run.
Yeah.
Do not deal with that deep breathing while it's online, and find your opportunities to deal with it later.
All right, NECC semifinals in the Eastern playoffs. 2 seed taking on the 3 seed. We knew this would be a good one, and here we are. Set number 3, 4 stocks to 3 stocks. This is as good as it gets. Kip looking to get any value onto North, and North just looking to put this fire out and take a full one-on-one against Willie.
Yeah, look at how incredibly aggressive North played out the gate, making sure that Kip feels the pressure right away, wanting to close out the stock, keeping things as even as possible, but instead is now feeling the pressure, does get caught in an awkward spot, going for the forward tilt, does get the jump called out. Kip doing a good job of trying to dance around this WeFit game plan. The deep breathing is offline, and it's going to be difficult to get it online while there's a Hydra in the way. There is the bell. The up smash connects, but it won't be enough as deep breathing is brought online, and immediately the forward smash connects off of a parry.
Kip stunned by that one, and a max range WeFit forward smash takes that one. So North does get their wish. They are able to take that 1 stock off Kip without losing one, even though Kip looked so good for most of that stock. It will come down to 3 stocks on 3 stocks.
And that's the nature of the perfect pair. It doesn't always get a lot of value in Smash Bros. Ultimate, but when it does in situations like that, it's a night and day difference. And that is so important. Again, playoffs, Chris. If you're going to make an aggressive decision like that, you might as well make it now where your back is against the wall, because the value you get is so astronomically good.
Yeah, and I mean, again, we knew that this would come down to the wire. I mean, this is 2 seed taking on the 3 seed to punch a ticket to grand finals against the winner of Winthrop and Lebanon Valley. I mean, it can't get any better than this. No stock disparity now. This is truly 1-on-1. Who's your best player? Shenandoah votes Willie. William and Mary votes North.
I don't know who Willie will pick. It's such a weird conundrum, because you're dealing with a character. WeFit Trainer can stall. WeFit Trainer can play it as slow as they want. Willie will be playing around the game plan either way. But I'm curious, in this sort of situation, your back's against the wall. Do you play to the strength of full aggression? Do you go Kazuya with the full intent of all momentum, just try and brute force your way through it? Or do you sacrifice a little bit of that for that little bit of survivability and try to hold on as long as you can?
I don't know. I don't have the answer, and it's the only person who will have that answer is sitting right behind us, getting ready to load in to what is the deciding matchup, the deciding moment of this series, of this tournament so far. Shenandoah looking to extend their run with their final player, and it will be Willie on his Kazuya.
Okay, Kazuya Mishima, WeFit Trainer. 2 humans duking it out in Smash Bros. Don't see that every day, and yet even so, this is going to be scary. This is the nature of the matchup. A big stage, a wide stage picked for both sides, and there are benefits to both. North is going to be able to stall things out a little bit with the deep breathing and the soccer ball, but Willie is going to have a very nice opportunity to get a good combo game going.
Yeah, Willie just trying to find his way in now as we start this series off. Not as hot of a start as we saw last time at WeFit is not Samus, but Kazuya is absolutely still Kazuya. We know what this character can do when given the smallest possible windows. So the platforms leave the stage, and Willie now forced to work on his own. He does find an electric and find some damage, but now cresting the 100% mark means he's got that kill button.
Yeah, as we do see one use of it right there, trying to potentially call out the Wii Fit Trainer approach. It won't be enough this time around. Willie eating a lot of percentage and is at a percent that comboing will be difficult. North able to secure this stock, and it could lead to Willie finding another opportunity to get a combo game going.
Yeah, Willie does find that down smash coming up from the ledge, and now finally starting to find some percentage of his own, but still eating quite a bit of hitboxes here. Charging a down smash there, a hard call out, and that might be what it takes to come back in this one, as he is basically a full stock down, but he does connect the electric, charge that up smash, and take his first stock. So now stock count back to an even mark, and this is where Kazuya can be dangerous.
Yeah, we do see a bit of a combo game there, but the rage is just high enough that the knockback sends just a little too high. Willie trying to take a good approach. Goes for the roll-in, trying to get North to potentially take the aggression. Does find the kill button at 55. It won't be able to KO, but it does even out the percentage.
Yeah, wow, way to claw back so far, as North had an advantage after one stock. It has more or less disappeared. Willie recovering over the ledge, and now again just trying to find his way in. He does get grounded, but is able to mash out of it and finds his hitbox, and it gets shielded. North stealing that stock as well, and now up to 100%. Willie just looking to even this one out once again. Finds his knockback and gets the laser as well. North trying to find their way back to the stage.
Yeah, is able to find their way back to the ledge and does get a very nice hit to continue it, but the up special comes out, Chris. One stock to one stock, and Willie is at the percentage to look for a very solid combo game.
Yeah, no platforms over the stage either. Willie forced to fast fall to get away from that projectile. He does get caught by that projectile. He does eat the soccer ball, but he's alive for now, and he will land on the platform. As long as Willie has one stock to work with, he can be dangerous. He does have to double jump to continue that combo. Able to find the laser, reflects the ball. Again, hitboxes coming out. Willie now up to 130% kill button online. That's a lot of damage, if nothing else. 68%, make that 100 in the blink of an eye. Both players over 100%. The ball connects, and Willie forced to back off. Can't find the up B, but is still in this one.
Yeah, it does find the electric, does find one hit, but the forward tilt connects. It will be enough, and that closes it out, Chris. Oh, man.
Heartbreaking finish for Shenandoah. I mean, last stock, last hit situation. Willie doing everything he could to stay alive as long as possible. Had opportunities, but couldn't find the one to finish it all. And devastation for Shenandoah.
It hurts. It always will. No matter where you are in this series, only one person walks out on top. And so when you're in this sort of situation, there's a lot of pressure, and we saw it. Both sides were finding opportunities and dropping some combos, but this time around, Shenandoah crumbles just a little bit under the pressure before William and Mary, and that was it.
Man, I mean, second time that these teams have met, both times going all the way down to the wire. But Shenandoah just unable to come out on top. Congratulations to William and Mary. They punched their ticket to grand finals on a heater of a series, and they will take on the presumptive winner of Winthrop and Lebanon Valley. So good luck to them in grand finals, but wow, what a series that they had to claw through to earn that spot.
Yeah, I mean, this was as close as it gets. There's a reason why both teams were ranked 2 and 3, and we witnessed that today. Great adaptations from both sides. Great utilization of the other's game plans, trying to take advantage of leads and then saving those leads for later. Both game plans going back and forth. We saw the pendulum go both sides. And this is why I love the crew battle sit-in, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, that was a ton of fun to watch. And the strategy, you said it, from both sides was incredible to witness. I mean, the mix-ups, the game plans, the call-outs was incredible. And where we saw SU really change their game plan, putting Igloo in first, working out more often than not, but ultimately not enough to seal it away. I mean, oh, what a tough way to fall in the end.
Yeah. And yet, they're not done with competition yet. they do have another match this Thursday in a different series. I'm blanking. It's not NECC.
It's NECC.
NECC, yes. So, with all that being said, there is more Smash Bros. This semester, which means we could see a bit of a bounce back, a little bit of adaptation on what they have learned from this series, what they liked, what they didn't, and more matchup knowledge. Knowledge is key in a fighting game, and I'm glad to see that the players will bring that forward going into the next couple of matches.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's worth mentioning that Shenandoah did win their NECC title, their region, last semester as well, so certainly not a disappointment on the year at all. They will, I believe, play a third place match as well in NECC, so while they bow out of competition for the title, they will still play their third place match, as well as, like you said, they still continue to dance in the NECC bracket as well, so they'll be playing on Thursday. Be sure to tune in for that. But unfortunately, that will do it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to drop us a follow on whatever platform you are watching on right now so you don't miss out on any of our playoff action the rest of the semester. But I'm Chris Clayton. That's my brother Kevin Clayton. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might just change their life, and we will see you next time.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
Over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway.
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
Cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Round 2 of NECC playoffs are upon us. April 1st, and no fools about this one. We've got a banger on our hands. Shenandoah University gearing up to take on the University of William and Mary in their second round of this bracket. Lot at stake here tonight. Both of these teams looking to punch their ticket into grand finals against the winner of Winthrop and Lebanon Valley, which we have to assume is probably a ticket to Winthrop. Ooh, a lot going on here tonight, but a lot to look forward to. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Clayton. This is my lovely brother, Kevin Clayton, and we get to cover some exciting gameplay here tonight. I know I have
to do here tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping for some redemption here, Ben. This is one of the two teams that was able to take us down last year, but, you know, at the end of the day, we were able to win the conference last time, and we're looking to, you know, try to do that a second time here, going up against William Mary. Trying to switch a few things around. They do have some tricky characters for us, so trying to match the right people in the right spots, and, you know, this time we do have David Farrambus on the Jigglypuff. That's something that we didn't have access to last time that we played William Mary, so maybe that's enough to shake things up. We just got to play our cards right and try to get the W.
But we've also got the match here on stream tonight. SU cruising past Concord in their round 1, and I want to take a moment to highlight there down in the bottom left. William and Mary did drop a game, a set against UNC Wilmington. Still coming out on top in the end, but maybe a little rattled, a little shaken up here coming into tonight.
Well, we're trying to hold on to the stock as long as possible. Does almost get hit by a quick sun, but is able to dance around it as, again, a bit slower pace, but one quick.
This character is so far north really starting to put it together as he gets Igloo now up to well over 100%, threatening this second stock as Igloo just desperately tries to.
Chases too have led to some really big percentage builds. So now it's going to be on Igloo. Yes, you're holding on to the stock as long as you can. The double jump is burned. The forward air. Look at the aggression from Igloo on this last stock. It's understandable that you need to play it this aggressive at this point, but the value of him playing so in the face of it.
Yeah, how about it? This has been a first half, second half matchup. I mean, North looked completely in control to start this, and Igloo goes on a heck of a run to bring it all the way back. He does go down in the end, but again, 2 stocks is all you can hope to
matchup, which I imagine is extremely difficult. Terry is great on the ground and has a decent air game, but when set off stage like this, I imagine getting back onto the stage is going to try to cancel it, bait the Wii Fit trainer in. Wii Fit trainer playing a little bit more patient, understanding they can't go for anything too crazy this time around, but a quick, are you okay, will set, but instead, Willie playing it a bit patient, does find a good spot dodge, is able to get the down tilt into the crack shoot, get a little bit more percentage built, and is looking for that final hit. Goes for the dash attack.
In the driver's seat, and now finally racking up some damage. Toad really finding some room to work with, and does, wow, find it the connect.
8 SDI getting out of these power ducks.
Yeah, man, it's becoming awfully consistent, and that's going to be a problem for Willie if he doesn't have that power dunk to lean on. But he can lean both of these players in their last stock, and you have to think that just about anything could finish it from here, but Willie with a raw Buster Wolf, it connects but can't finish, so evens percentages out. If nothing else, it catches the dash attack. Willie puts SU up 1 stock through 2 players.
Brother, that is a different kind of conditioning.
Wow.
He jumped, Chris.
He jumped.
He jumped. The one time Willie is not there, Falco says, I'm free. I can jump from the ledge, and suddenly there's a shoulder in the face of Falco.
Shield are coming out as the safest option for ReviX to try to finish this off. Charge shot connects, and they look to maintain space. Good job there. Start racking up percentage. Another jump over the charge shot. Another charge shot miss as the stun lands, but I don't think Hip was ready for that one as Samus stood perfectly under the...
Yeah, we do see ReviX is really trying to get Kip feeling the pressure, using the grab invincibility to get around the Samus section will connect, and it is crazy just how confident that this Samus player is as trying to re-grab these fruit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's working out great, but not again. ReviX just looking to hold on to this fruit, maybe stall it out as long as possible. 183, and Kip's kill threat does become a little less overwhelming without fruit, but not enough to keep that last stock. ReviX goes down, and Pac-Man is on full go.
Whether it is the Chrono Ring or the fruit.
What?
Whoa, Chris.
Wow. Okay, we get a Pac-Man
charge until the fruit they desire. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of approaches both players take to trying to close stocks. The get-up attack is called out, and the bell...
And not before losing, or taking a lot of percentage, though. But, I mean, look at the bell setups are still going both ways. 2 bells on your good little angle on that fire hydrant, and now catches the back air, catches Kip on stage. The hydrant angle, can't find it, but
that will take a little bit more percentage, but is willing to play this game a little bit slower. Does have the bell into Pac-Man's hands, will connect as the
boxes here and there. That is the Jigglypuff game, and something we're pretty used to seeing from Jigglypuff is go off stage and sort of train the last stock, but now Faramis goes deep off stage, is able to air dodge back to the ledge, and just needs to get this first stock out of the way.
Yeah, there's that back air.
Running out of room for error. Not many mistakes left in Faramis' kit, but still, full stock ahead of him. Avoids that bell, but can't get away from
into the down B. It won't be enough to close things out, but it's that rage, Chris, that makes that combo, I believe, true, which is crazy to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, and that's really something interesting to me as Igloo does go off stage and finish that first stock off, but Yoshi's the one character in the game that can make me doubt that. Shielded up smash there. Toad just looking to finish this stock off. Both of these players just looking to find their
dodge back to the ledge. Wow. Is able to make it. Hates the down tilt, but it's not going to be enough to KO this time around as Falco will once again look for a potential to close out. There's that down smash.
Reflector out, not letting Igloo establish the eggs. But now off stage, Igloo has a ton of room to work with, and Out goes the
Two forward air, trying to bait out a Wii Fit Trainer option, does get the nair to follow it up. Wii Fit Trainer only has the up B to get back onto the stage, but the hitbox does beat out that down air this time around, as Igloo taking the aggressive approach, taking advantage of that North is not ready for these Igloo approaches right now, and because of that, they have to go super far off stage. They'll go low.
looks to re-establish his own game plan. Deep breathing offline, the key land smash. The preference pretty neutral here, but the heavy breathing still. North catches a bell on the ledge, caught sleeping on the landing, and Kip steals an early stock.
Yeah, and we do see a fully charged neutral B.
Picking up on that, and the Bell's still outright beating a fully charged neutral B, and see if he's able to land one of those stuns, but as that charge time gets longer and longer, and the Hydrant does connect, the key destroying the Hydrant, sending it up to the platform and catching North sleeping once again. And we see both players again opting to play the long game, both keys go wide, and percentages continue to climb.
Yeah, Fire Hydrant is sent flying as
Forward tilt there onto the Hydrant, and now Kip with an opportunity. The Bell gets stopped by the platform, but I mean, you said it, now up to 175 does get caught. Really even this out, and after starting with a full stock advantage, Jatron not much to show for it so far, as the apple lands on the ledge. Bell comes out. He does catch Jatron on the side B, going above the ledge. The green fruit is out, but now Jatron over 100%, and Kip does know how to close those stocks. Wow, he does finally go down, but not after causing serious problems at that point on stage. So 173%, the Hydrant goes off, and the neutral air lands.
Oh no!
Oh wow! Pac-Man up to 64%.
Yeah, we do see Farambas doing a good job of kind of dancing around this game plan, offering a lot more percentage on each stock than last time, and it's really starting to add up as the call out on the air dodge works in Farambas' favor.
Wow, what a call out! Able to finish that one and only loses one!
Crazy important to your survivability in this matchup.
Yeah, and we're seeing smaller charge shots come out as well to try to put the stun off of the return back to a neutral state. ReadyX sitting at 57%, and now this game has really fallen in ReadyX's favor.
Yeah, oh, the jump back, just dashed through it as ReadyX is looking to stall on the platform, but goes down on the ground. Immediately eats a grab and a couple of electrics as Willie gets the combo game going into the back air and closes up the shots. It's done quickly, and now we are starting to see the game plan start to slow down. It took ReadyX to really take the time and get away from this Mishima, but for now,
dangerously close to losing this kill button. The reflector does come out, but he will lose the rage art. I think he's fine with that one. Oh, does recover a little bit high.
Samus burns the double jump, has to go back to the ledge, does roll into the hands of Willie. Willie looking for the kill button, but it won't connect this time around as the dash attack connects and gets caught shielded. Kill button online. Booyah!
Wow, I mean, Willie able to stand up and get a big stretch off that one, because that was clinical, that was surgical. Willie goes in and takes 2 stocks almost instantly, and
Igloo acknowledged that this matchup can be a little tricky on the stage, but if they find an opportunity to get this Terry off stage at a good spot, it could scared with those power dunks. Look at that. The way that they're using the power dunks, it's relatively safe on landing, but they're still going for the spot dodge after, which at least leaving them percentage build onto this Terry and potential disaster as a forward air connects.
wow, did you see that forward air hit?
Scary Dino.
Well beyond style of gameplay from Igloo. This feels like a type of Yoshi that we really haven't seen much of. The recovery options have been very interesting, but
does get Igloo out of that situation, holding onto the stock for a bit longer, as now look at how Igloo is playing this, as slow as needed, as a power geyser's thrown out, but Igloo's back on the main stage, holding down shield, and will be able to punish with the up smash. Way in, bells connect, fruit is thrown, but the double jump armor is going to allow for a small reversal, and Jatron going back to the ledge.
Struggling to find much on the other side, but boy, as long as you can keep this stock in hand, I mean, it's alarming.
Okay.
So still kind of struggling to find percentage. Does find the side beat, if nothing else, is percentage. Like we said, Bell comes out, does get hydranted away, or PK fires into play and match this range game. Jatron is sitting relatively comfortably on stage, and Farmus can't make it back. Does get caught with a stun, but Pac-Man goes for the grab, is unable to punish. The fruit connects, gets a kill spark, but 140%. J-Tron finds
Able to use J-Tron's Galaga. We saw an insane amount of damage buildup in return.
Yeah, both players are looking to throw out their fruits. They both, but looking pretty good under that.
Yeah. Kip, in a lot of these situations, I've noticed, is the one
grabbed the
holding
bell.
into the key. Instead, finds the opponent's wow! The roll behind. He gets it. Pressure of a Pac-Man dinner. What am I saying, Chris?
Okay, I mean, what did I said probably feeling the pressure of the moment, and what does he do with the pressure of the season on his shoulders? He goes up and grabs the other Pac-Man's bell and uses it to kill him. Mother of God! Yeah, the bell does get reflected, but Toad unable to capitalize because Spike can't quite find the 2-frame window he needs, so... Nair. Oh man!
He is the answer for Kip. Now having to find a way to close out the stock is throwing out a lot of back airs to do it, but is also finding good grab opportunities. The back air.
60% damage in favor of Kip. The rest of it is not reflective. So as bleak as we make this sound for Pac-Man, it does just take small.
Safest move, especially when Pac-Man's above you.
Yeah, now we are still seeing the value of these Falco combos. Does not get the tech there. He will buy the hydrant on that one.
Yeah, the water coming in clutch, keeping Kip out of any sort of crazy shenanigans. Does eat a bell reflect, and Falco goes all the way off, but it's reversal by the down smash. That was the matchup, Chris, and it is done.
Look at it! Look at it! That's a down smash. I mean,
And it's going to be difficult to get it online while there's a hydrant in the way. There is the bell. The up smash connects, but it won't be enough as deep breathing is brought online, and immediately the forward smash. Yeah, as we do see one use of it right there, trying to potentially call out the Wii Fit Trainer approach. It won't be enough this time around. Willie eating a lot of percentage and is at a percent that combo.
Quite a bit of hitboxes here. Charging a down smash there, a hard call out, and that might be what it takes to come back in this one, as he is basically a full stock. Willie recovering over the ledge, and now again just trying to find his way in. He does get grounded, but is able to mash out of it and finds his hitbox, and it gets the laser as well. North trying to find their way back to the stage.
Yeah, is able to find their way back to the ledge. Does get a very nice hit to continue it, but the up
Willie forced to back off, can't find the up B, but is still in this one.
Yeah, does find the electric, does find one hit, but the forward tilt connects. It will be enough, and that closes it out, Chris. Both game plans going back and forth. We saw the pendulum go both sides. And this is why I love the crew battles in Chris.
Yeah, I mean, that was a ton of fun to watch, and the strategy, you said it, from both sides was incredible to witness. I mean, the mix-ups, the game plans, the call-outs was incredible, and where we saw SU really change their game plan, putting Igloo in first, working out more often than not, but ultimately not enough disappointment on here at all. They will, I believe, play a third-place match as well in NECC, so while they bow out of competition for the title, they will still play their third-place match, as well as, like you said, they still continue to dance in the NACE bracket as well. So they'll be playing on Thursday. Be sure to tune in for that.